After what turned into a rough season for the Cardinals last year, a new coach and a fresh season have spirits as high as the geyser in Soda Springs. The Red and Black take the field this year under Cliff Garbett as he looks to build his legacy and bring glory to the Cardinal name. The game of football may not seem like one for the Birds, but these Cardinals are a different breed. Strong, quick, smart, and all brought together by one goal: victory. Let's find out together what can happen when birds of a feather flock together on the gridiron. Cardinal football is right here and right now on KBRV 800 The Bear and streaming live online at mylocalradio.com. Soda Springs football is brought to you live by these local sponsors:
Sanders Furniture, Reed's Plumbing and Heating, Silver Star Communications, Monsanto, and Old West Media.
Kickoff is just about 30 minutes away, so let's head out to the field where Caleb Burgraff will get you primed and ready for kickoff on your home for every play of Cardinal football. AM 800 KBRV, The Bear.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome out to the home of the Declo Hornets, where right now it is in the end of the JV game. It is about 7.5 minutes left to go in the JV game as we start our pregame show. We're going to give you some bonus coverage of the JV Cardinals here against the Declo Hornets. And for those of you just tuning in, it is 54-6 in the fourth quarter. The Hornets are on top of the Cardinals, 48 points in the advantage, and the clock's running down from 7 minutes and 7 seconds. The Cardinals do have the football, and we will have our varsity matchup coming for you guys as soon as the JV is over. We'll start our pregame show in a half hour. After that, we will have the the varsity match coming up, as out there on the field, an interception just has been thrown. Peyton Lish, no, it drops incomplete, I should say, as the clock will continue to run, with it being fourth down at about 5 for the Soda Springs Cardinals. The Cardinals have had one really good bright spot so far in tonight's game, as that was when Logan Mumford was able to take a punt return all the way to the house for a touchdown. That kept them in it. I believe that made the score at that point in time 28-6. Since then, though, it has been all Declo able to really push the score forward, and you really can't blame them for anything. They've been running the ball most of the time, but right now this JV team for Declo, they're just a solid team all the way across the board. As a punt comes from the Soda Springs Cardinals, Jared Johnson sending that one down the field, and it will be taken over by the Declo Hornets at the 22-yard line, where they will look to continue their drive. Again, bonus coverage here as we're waiting for the JV game to wrap up. 6 minutes and 4 seconds. Clock stops at change of possession here as the Declo Hornets will be taking over and coming back the other way. And the Declo Hornets, they have put out their third-string team, as the JVers are on the bench, at least the starting JV team on the bench, including their starting quarterback, Tanner Schroeder, who has come out and played very strong. Right now as a quarterback, it's Christian Kidd, who is normally a kicker. He's a junior for the Declo Hornets, but out there right now and getting a little bit of playing time as a handoff up the middle for the Hornets is going to get them some big yardage, a 22-yard gain. Brian Rios with the carry. He's a sophomore running back, brought down by several different Cardinals at the 43-yard line, and the Hornets will continue to move the ball with 5.5 minutes left to go here on the scoreboard here at the home of Declo. And the Hornets, 54-6, again, your score in the JV matchup. The varsity game will follow this one here as the Hornets snap up in that bunch twin formation, and it's going to be a quick handoff up the gut, another quick tackle as well. With the ball carry on that one, I believe, was number 24, or excuse me, I do not have number 24 on my roster for the Declo Hornets. And now that I look at it, it was 42, who is also a missing name on the roster. And again, this is the team that does not normally get a lot of playing time out there for the Declo Hornets. A lot of freshmen, a lot of sophomores, and not necessarily kids that were known for making the varsity team. As another run is going to be taken over to the right side. Third down and about 11 yards to go coming up for the Hornets. The clock will continue to move down. 4.5 minutes left to go here in the JV contest at Declo. It's been a busy week of sports in Caribou County. We've had plenty of different contests. There's another snap coming up. The snap is taken, pitch out to the near side, and taking it up the gut. He's going to have the first down and plenty more. That's Brian Rios again, all the way to the Soda Springs 24-yard line. That's where they'll mark him down. A rumble and a stumble of 34 yards. A big carry for Rios there puts the Hornets into the position where they might be able to score once again. All smiles on their sideline right now with the score, as I said, 54-6. And they're continuing to drive really in that bunched double wing formation as they're going to pitch the ball once again, and taking it as that mystery man number 42. He's bottled up quickly and taken down on the tackle there. We'll start trying to get some of the soda names out there. Mason Smith, the junior defensive lineman, ends up coming up with the tackle, standing on the near sideline. He's the right end for the Soda Springs Cardinal, and their unbalanced defense. They run a 3-4. Sometimes they turn it into a 3-5 defense. And right now, with the Hornets boxing up and bundling up as many players as they can into that box, that's exactly where they've gone. Second down and call it 10 yards. It'll be a quick run and not going anywhere as he went right into the offensive line is Christian Kidd. And excuse me, they say Keegan Presley with the carry on that one. And it will keep the clock running to under 3 minutes to go. Third down and 9 yards to go. The JV game going on out there right now. Thank you for those who are tuning in to KBRV 800 The Bear, as well as anyone that is watching online at mylocalradio.com, where you'll be able to pick up our live video stream with the pregame show coming up. We got plenty of stuff coming your way, including an interview with one of the Soda Springs players. Andrew Stewart was able to jump on. Rios takes this carry for the Hornets, and he's going to rumble in for a touchdown. Brian Rios with another touchdown for the Hornets of Declo, and that is going to make it 60-6. A rough outing for the Soda Springs Cardinals, and the clock will stop with 2 minutes and 18 seconds left to go. And the Cardinals down by 54 points to the Hornets of Declo, an extra point upcoming. And the Hornets, for their credit, have kicked extra points all night so far. Again, you're tuning into expanded coverage, bonus coverage of the JV game here at the home of the Declo Hornets on KBRV 800 The Bear. As a quick handoff, and excuse me, they do not try and kick the extra point. They go for two here, and it looks like the Cardinals are going to come up with the stop. Several different Cardinals players come up from the bottom of the huddle. One of the ones that you see is Jeremiah Hansen. And they are going to say it is good, so the two-point attempt is good, 62-16. Now the score goes 56 points, the advantage for Declo and the Hornets. They're in the black jerseys out there on the field. The white jerseys are the Soda Springs Cardinals, as you can hear. 2 minutes and 18 seconds left to go in our JV football game, as we have right around, that'll probably mean about 10 minutes before we start our pregame show for the Soda Springs football team as they get set to take on the Declo Hornets. The Soda Springs varsity team, of course, coming off of their first win of the season last Friday night against the Malad Dragons, a 28-8 win for Soda Springs and the Cardinals at home. That gives them a little bit of momentum coming into this game, and if you're the Cardinals, you definitely got to be hoping you can ride that momentum into a victory tonight, or at least keeping it close against one of the teams that is a top team in the state, Declo and the Hornets, after they opened up their season with a loss to Sugar Salem in a tight contest there that they led for much of the game. They've turned it around and won their last 4 games. The offense has been able to put plenty of different points onto the board, scoring 50 points multiple times on the year. On the other side for the Soda Springs Cardinals, other than their early win, or their win on last Friday night, they have lost 4 games as well. So the Cardinals come into this matchup at 1-4. A quick kickoff comes from the Declo Hornets with 2:15 to go. It's going to be fielded and handed off to Mumford. He's going to come up the middle of the gut, goes off to his left, breaks free at the 40-yard line, one man to beat, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds. They'll mark him out at the 49-yard line of the Declo Hornets. Logan Mumford got the handoff from Taylor Adams, and the Cardinals will watch the clock start to wind at this point in time with a 62-6 deficit and look for the Cardinals to possibly try and run the ball to end this game, or you never know, they might try and strike at the very end here to get some points and give some confidence to this JV squad, who's going to have to go against Bear Lake and the Bears next week in a rivalry matchup for the Soda Springs Cardinals. Clock continues to wind to 1:45 to go. Cardinals will come out in the pistol formation. Peyton Lish will be the quarterback, gets the snap, fakes the handoff, blitz in his face. It's going to be a screen pass to the near side. Mumford carries it behind a blocker, now bullies his way forward. A flag comes out on the near side. If it goes for the distance, it is going to be an 11-yard gain for a first down, but there is a penalty flag down, as I said, at the 44-yard line. And with 1:22 to go, the clock stops. And it'll be a holding penalty against the Cardinals, so that will move them back. And holding his hands out and kind of a, really? You're going to call that at this point in time in this game, and it's going to march the Cardinals back from the 44-yard line. As the officials discuss. And with 1:22 to go, the Cardinals will be pushed back into their own territory to the 45-yard line of the Cardinals. Again, 1:22 to go. You're still listening to the JV football game, not the varsity on the field yet. And the Cardinals will have just about 1 minute and 17 seconds left before the wrap-up of this one. Lish again to throw the ball, throws it to the far side. A completion to that side. It's going to gain back about 15 yards. Pulling it in, Justin Morrison, the junior wide receiver, ends up drilling that one in. And that is going to give the Cardinals a little bit of a boost of self-esteem, you got to think, in this matchup. At the 41-yard line, that's where the Cardinals will take over. It'll be second down and about 3 yards to go. They need to get to the 38-yard line of the Hornets in order to get a first down, but the clock winds at under 40 seconds to go, so this very well could be the last play of the game for the Soda Springs Cardinals, as Lish again lines up in that pistol formation, 2 wide receivers to each side. Blitz comes up the gut, 5-man. It's picked up well. Lish ducks behind 1 man. Now he's going to rumble forward himself. He's going to be wrapped up and taken down after the gain of a yard. On the tackle there is number 65, who is again another player. I don't have my roster. It's Jacob Gerard, listening to the PA announcer, and that will bring the clock to 8 seconds left to go. Soda comes to the line in a hurry, 4 seconds to go, trying to get one more play off. 2-1 play is going to be good. Snap goes off, horn sounds, flag comes out, pass complete over the middle. With the completion there is Lish, and it will be completed to Thomas Nielsen. Buzzer sounds, the game is over, and the Soda Springs Cardinals JV squad falls in this matchup 62-6 to the Declo Hornets. We're going to have our pregame show coming up for you guys with a look at what happened last week in the Malad game for the Soda Springs Cardinals. We'll also be talking with Andrew Stewart, a varsity member and a varsity wide receiver who's going to get a start at running back tonight for the Soda Springs Cardinals, as well as a look at the 2 coaches in tonight's contest in our Arctic Circle pregame show. And the Cardinals are going to have to come out onto the field again, as the penalty looks to be against Declo and the Hornets. So despite the buzzer going off, you can't end the game on a defensive penalty. So it appears the Cardinals will have one more play that will be left to be snapped off in tonight's contest, down 62-6. Officials gathering at midfield, talking things over. And still waiting on a final decision as they just discuss the rules and what things are going to be. Cardinals lined up at the line of scrimmage where it was. So you know they're ready to line up this last play. And the officials, again, still talking things over. And it is going to be a penalty on the Declo Hornets. Not sure what it was, but the Hornets will watch the Cardinals take the football, as there will be one more play, as I said, and the Cardinals will be able to try and get one more touchdown up onto the board, try and limit this deficit and cut it down to 50 points, or even cut it down to 48 points if they can punch the ball into the end zone. So the Cardinals will huddle up once again. The penalty will put the ball after the completion. That went to Thomas Nielsen. It'll move the ball forward to the 11-yard line. So good scoring opportunity for the Cardinals here. And again, this will be a little bit of a boost for themselves if they can push this ball into the end zone going into next week's game against Bear Lake. So one untimed down. Lish in the shotgun takes a snap. looks around, blitz comes in his face, throws it for the end zone, nobody home. It drops down harmlessly to the turf, and the final score again, 62-6 of our JV contest here. We'll have our pregame show coming up as the two teams will line up for high fives, with plenty more to come here on KBRV 800 The Bear. As I was talking about, we'll have a look at what happened in last week's game for the Soda Springs Cardinals against the Malad Dragons, in case you missed that. We'll also give you a look at the Soda Springs volleyball team, what they did this week, as well as our upcoming broadcast schedule, including and also once we get closer to game time, about 20 minutes away from game time, we'll start off with an interview with Andrew Stewart, then move into our coaches show brought to you by Arctic Circle, and then we will move on to the opening kick of tonight's contest between the Soda Springs Cardinals and the Hornets of Declo High School. About 2 hours to the west of Soda Springs. We'll be back with more on KBRV 800 The Bear and online at mylocalradio.com.
Case lot fever is continuing at Lalaton's in Soda Springs the week of October 8th through the 14th. Drop into Lalaton's and grab yourself canned vegetables, a case of 24 for $12. Or grab Western Family cans of soup, 24 cans for $12 as well. Make sure you don't miss out on their water, as they have 24 packs of Western Family half-liter bottles, $1.99 each. Or if you're looking for peanut butter, grab yourself a 64-ounce creamy or chunky peanut butter for $6.49. It's all at Lalaton's in Soda Springs.
Hi, this is John Ondrasik of Five for Fighting, here for RAD, the entertainment industry's voice for road safety. You know, style is a personal thing, and your lifestyle is your business. But if you take it on the road, it becomes everybody's business. So please, plan ahead, designate before you celebrate. Friends, don't let friends drive drunk.
A public service announcement brought to you by RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
How'd I do?
You'll get better.
Tim can't wait to be a real driver. But for now, he's king of the online track thanks to Silver Star Communications high-speed internet. Reliable, consistent speeds give him the edge against players anywhere, even the other end of the couch.
Whoa.
You'll get better.
Visit silverstar.com to learn more.
Would your business survive a disaster? Nearly 2/3 of businesses aren't prepared for an emergency, and 40% of businesses that experience a disaster never recover. Make an emergency plan now before it's too late. For a free online tool that helps you develop an emergency plan to keep your business up and running should disaster strike, visit ready.gov/business. Brought to you by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, the American Red Cross, and the Ad Council.
After what turned into a rough season for the Cardinals last year, a new coach and a fresh season have spirits as high as the geyser in Soda Springs. The Red and Black take the field this year under Cliff Garbett as he looks to build his legacy and bring glory to the Cardinal name. The game of football may not seem like one for the Birds, but these Cardinals are a different breed. Strong, quick, smart, and all brought together by one goal: victory. Let's find out together what can happen when birds of a feather flock together on the gridiron. Cardinal football is right here and right now on KBRV 800 The Bear and streaming live online at mylocalradio.com. Soda Springs football is brought to you live by these local sponsors:
Sanders Furniture, Reed's Plumbing and Heating, Silver Star Communications, Monsanto, and Old West Media.
Kickoff is just about 30 minutes away, so let's head out to the field where Caleb Berggraf will get you primed and ready for kickoff on your home for every play of Cardinal football. AM 800 KBRV, The Bear.
And one more time, we welcome you out to the home of the Declo Hornets on KBRV 800 The Bear. 28 minutes until the start of the varsity matchup here between the Hornets and the Soda Springs Cardinals, as Declo is making their way onto the football field, as the 4-1 Hornets will look to try and take down the Soda Springs Cardinals in tonight's matchup. And for the Soda Springs Cardinals, I mentioned they are coming off of a big win, their first win of the season, as they were able to take down Malad and the Dragons 28-8 in their opening win of the year at home, their third home game of the season as well. And for the Cardinals, they were led by none other than Devin Adams, who ended up going 9 for 20 in the game, had 81 passing yards as well as a passing touchdown. He also ended up rushing for 3 touchdowns as well in the game and going for 83 yards on 17 carries. The Cardinals ended up broaching the 100-yard mark for the first time all season long by putting 119 rushing yards up onto the board. They did have 66 yards in penalties, so that is a big place for the Soda Springs Cardinals to really keep an eye out for in this game, is if they can clean up some of the penalty yardage that they were able to rack up in that contest. As far as the scoring goes, it was fairly sporadic. The Cardinals missed a couple of opportunities early on in that game in Malad. They did not score in the first quarter. The second quarter is where they were able to do their damage. Adams opened up the scoring with an 18-yard touchdown pass to Tanner Myers that put the Cardinals up 7-0 at that point in time. In the third quarter, Adams would then punch in a 1-yard run late in the third quarter. That took a 14-0 lead into halftime for the Soda Springs Cardinals. After that, it would be Adams rushing twice in the fourth quarter to build the lead to 28-0. And late, and when I say late I mean late in the game with only a couple minutes left, it would be a pass from Cal Willie to Braxton Dane for a touchdown. Willie would score the 2-point conversion on a rush up the gut, and the Soda Springs Cardinals would again go on to win that matchup by a final score of 28-8 over the Malad Dragons in their third home game of the season. And the Cardinals now look to try and use that momentum coming into this matchup tonight, where they will be taking on the Declo Hornets in a game that really could be winnable for the Soda Springs Cardinals if they can bring out the fearsome fire that they came out in that first matchup with against Malad. That's what they really need. And they've got some starters back. We'll talk a little bit more about some of those starters as they come back. But before we do that, the Soda Springs Cardinals volleyball team was on the court last night as well, as they were in a big matchup with Westside, trying to get a little bit of momentum against the Westside Pirates. And they did gain some of that momentum. Last time they took on Westside and the Pirates, it was a 3-set sweep by the Pirates at the home of the Cardinals. This time, Soda Springs went on the road, took on Westside, and went 4 sets with the Pirates, taking them to a 18-25 set win in set number 2, dropping the other 3 sets. They did have a rough start, and most of those sets they lost, giving up big runs to the Westside Pirates in those matchups. But overall, the volleyball team looked very good last night. They ended up getting 9 kills from Callie Groning on the outside and only 1 hitting error on Callie Groning. She did have 2 service errors, but overall, the Cardinals, again, with a very, very strong performance last night from some of their players, and a lot of hope for the Cardinals volleyball team as they get set to move on in the year. It is the varsity Cardinals making their way onto the field, a long line of Cardinals as they look to try and come back and win back-to-back games for the first time in the last 2 years, as they were kept from doing that last year. We'll take a break, come back, we'll have Andrew Stewart on our pregame show after this on your home for Soda Springs football, KBRV 800 The Bear, with live video streaming online at mylocalradio.com.
K-Slot fever is continuing at Lalaton's in Soda Springs the week of October 8th through the 14th. Drop into Lalaton's and grab yourself canned vegetables of case of 24 for $12. Or grab Western Family cans of soup, 24 cans for $12 as well. Make sure you don't miss out on their water, as they have 24 packs of Western Family half-liter bottles, $1.99 each. Or if you're looking for peanut butter, grab yourself a 64-ounce creamy or chunky peanut butter for $6.49. It's all at Lalaton's in Soda Springs.
Hi, this is John Ondrasik of Five for Fighting, here for RAD, the entertainment industry's voice for road safety. You know, style is a personal thing, and your lifestyle is your business. But if you take it on the road, it becomes everybody's business. So please, plan ahead, designate before you celebrate. Friends, don't let friends drive drunk.
A public service announcement brought to you by RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
How'd I do?
You'll get better.
Tim can't wait to be a real driver. But for now, he's king of the online track thanks to Silver Star Communications high-speed internet. Reliable, consistent speeds give him the edge against players anywhere, even the other end of the couch.
Whoa.
You'll get better.
Visit silverstar.com to learn more.
Would your business survive a disaster? Nearly 2/3 of businesses aren't prepared for an emergency, and 40% of businesses that experience a disaster never recover. Make an emergency plan now before it's too late. For a free online tool that helps you develop an emergency plan to keep your business up and running should disaster strike, visit ready.gov/business. Brought to you by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, the American Red Cross, and the Ad Council.
There's an organization in southeast Idaho whose wildlife conservation efforts have been commended by the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, the Idaho Fish and Wildlife Foundation, and the North American Moose Foundation. Who is this organization? It's Monsanto. While Monsanto is honored by the recognition they receive, their ongoing dedication to the environment is its own reward for all of us. Monsanto. Imagine.
Whoa.
The moment my son saw a redwood tree.
It's huge!
Is the moment I knew that for him,
You can't even see the top of that thing!
even the sky has no limit.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. Your moment is out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
There has never been a better time to convert to natural gas. Even in the summer months, natural gas is worth asking for. Reed's Plumbing and Heating in Soda Springs will replace your furnace that caused you problems this winter with a new natural gas furnace, or even install a natural gas water heater to keep your water hot. Plus, Reed's can add a water softener to your home. And if you want to cool things down, Reed's Plumbing and Heating will install an energy-efficient Lennox air conditioner. All at Reed's Plumbing and Heating, 180 South 3rd Street, Soda Springs.
Welcome back out to the home of the Declo Hornets. I'm apologizing if for any people listening into KBRV 800 The Bear right now, we had a little bit of a technical mishap back at our studio. We have everything figured out though, so welcome back again to the home of the Declo Hornets. And for whatever you missed, the JV team ended up dropping their score by a game by a score of 62-6 in what was a tough matchup for them. We recapped what happened last week for the Soda Springs Cardinals. Now it's time for us to move on with our pregame show as we are going to take a look at our interview. Andrew Stewart from the Soda Springs Cardinals joined us earlier this week to talk a little bit about what he is expecting from his squad and what he needs the Soda Springs Cardinals to come out and do if they are going to come away with a victory tonight. We'll also look at some keys to the contest when we come back. But right now, Andrew Stewart joins us again on the pregame show.
Caleb Burgraff with Andrew Stewart, one of the juniors on the Soda Springs football team. And Andrew, the first thing, you guys finally got your first win of the year last week against Malad. What was that like for you guys to get that monkey off your back?
I enjoyed it. So I think all of our guys came out and played as a team and did all their assignments really good. And I think we need to learn from this still and come out to play Declo next week.
You guys had to play in some pretty rough conditions last Friday as well. Is that something that helps you get better as a football team?
Actually, I think it does, because if you play with the rain or something, you just learn to carry the ball better than when you would if it was a sunny day. So I think that does help us a lot.
One of the things this team has really been needing to work on that looked like it took a huge step forward was the blocking game for this team so far. And really, it seemed like that didn't take just a small step, but a huge step forward in the game against Malad. What did you see from the team in those regards?
Oh, I did see a lot of better blocking, and our guys just working better together and better communication through all the linemen. They really did a good job this last game and came together and blocked really good.
The game against Malad also guaranteed you guys a spot into the postseason as well. I know you guys are a team that really takes that one game at a time mantra and takes it seriously, but is there any pressure that's been taken off by getting that win and knowing that you're going to the next round?
Yeah, of course it does. If we beat Bear Lake, then of course, I mean, they've always been a rival to all of us and our friends, and I know that me and my friends all want to play on turf, so I think we're really looking forward to next game versus Declo, but we're also looking forward to Bear Lake, and we're trying to get better and better each week.
Caleb Burgraff with Andrew Stewart, and with the first-year coach this year under Cliff Garbett, what have you noticed from him that he's brought to this team that's different from the way the team was in years past?
He brings a lot of energy and knowledge with him, and I think that's very useful in times, and I think he's a very good coach, and I would really and I really love playing for him. I'm going to love playing for him next year too.
When you look at this team too, there's a lot of seniors on this team. What's the leadership like on the team, and where do you consider yourself as far as that leadership role?
I think JV looks up to all of our seniors, and I think that they've done a pretty good job in leading, and I hope that they lead more through all this season, and I'm going to really miss them next year, but I think that I've taken kind of a leadership role, and I'm glad I have, because I have plenty of knowledge to share with all the younger kids, and I hope they listen.
When you look at Declo this week, they're a tough team. They're going to be a tough challenge. What are some of the things that you've seen them do really well on the football field that you're going to have to be ready for?
Oh, they're a really solid offensive team, and as a defensive team, we really need to step it up. But I think that we can do that with our line getting better, and our tackling needs to be lower. They are big guys, but we can get it.
Final thing, the defense for this team really has been kind of their standpoint. That's been the thing that is recognizable about this team so far. Is that something you're proud of as a player, and is that something do you think that can carry on not just from this year but for years to come?
Oh yeah, like it said, defense wins you games, and if you have a solid defense, then you have a good chance of competing for a title or something like that. And I think we do have a good defensive team, and I hope it does carry on. But I think that coach preaches that a good defense wins you games, so I believe that we'll have a good defense in years to come.
Andrew, thank you so much for the time. Good luck to you as the season moves on, and hopefully you guys can make a dent in Declo.
Hey, thank you.
That was Andrew Stewart, a junior on the Soda Springs football team, and that is normally where we play our Where Are They Now interview. Unfortunately, the people that we try to get in touch with for Where Are They Now were not available this week, and this is where I'm going to make a plea out to you guys, the listeners to our contest. If you know of somebody that played for the Soda Springs Cardinals that you think would be a good person to have on our Where Are They Now subject as a feature for that, give us a call, or in fact, the best way to get in touch is shoot me an email, Caleb, C-A-L-E-B, and then add another B at k-9radio.com, and that is the best way. It is a way that we will pay honor to some of the people that have played in the past for Soda Springs and the Cardinals. It doesn't have to be football. If they played basketball, if they played volleyball, cross-country runners, track runners, baseball players, softball players, whatever it might be, if you know someone that would be a good person to get onto the air and would be a good person to honor with a Where Are They Now segment, give me a call at the station at 547-2400, or again, email me, Caleb B, that's C-A-L-E-B-B, at k-9radio.com. And I would really appreciate all the help I can get in getting extra people. And again, this is something to play tribute to the people who have played at Soda Springs in the past. That's our Where Are They Now segment. We will be coming back after this with our Coaches Show. The Cliff Garbeck Coaches Show, brought to you by Arctic Circle, is on the way next with 15 minutes until the start of tonight's matchup between the Declo Hornets and the Soda Springs Cardinals on KBRV 800 The Bear and online at mylocalradio.com.
There has never been a better time to convert to natural gas. Even in the summer months, natural gas is worth asking for. Rage Plumbing and Heating in Soda Springs will replace your furnace that caused you problems this winter with a new natural gas furnace, or even install a natural gas water heater to keep your water hot. Plus, Reed's can add a water softener to your home. And if you want to cool things down, Reed's Plumbing and Heating will install an energy-efficient Lennox air conditioner. All at Reed's Plumbing and Heating, 180 South 3rd Street, Soda Springs.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard. So you don't need to start foraging wild berries.
I was skeptical, but these are actually pretty good.
You don't need to sell your soul to the devil.
$15 is the best I can do.
You just need FeedThePig.org. Don't get left behind. Get tips and tools at FeedThePig.org. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
They need your help. They're overstocked with Lazy Boy and Catnapper recliners, sofas, and love seats. They'll wheel and deal right now at Sanders Furniture, Flooring, and Appliance. If you will help them make room in their showroom, they'll help you keep money in your bank account while you're enjoying high-quality, comfortable Lazy Boy and Catnapper recliners, sofas, and love seats. They need your help, and you need to save money. Wheel and deal right now at Sanders Furniture, Flooring, and Appliances on Main Street in Soda Springs.
Welcome back out. It's time for the Coach Cliff Garbeck pregame coaches show, brought to you by Arctic Circle in Soda Springs, where the good stuff is. No one sees the game the way the coaches do. We'll take a few minutes to visit with the head coach of the Declo Hornets in Kelly Kidd, and then we will sit down with the Cardinals head coach in Cliff Garbett and get his thoughts on what his team needs to do to come away with a win this afternoon. We'll be right back after this from Arctic Circle in Soda Springs. You're listening to the Soda Springs Cardinals football. You're listening to Soda Springs Cardinals football on KPRV 800 The Bear with live streaming video online at mylocalradio.com.
By choosing high-quality ingredients like Black Angus beef, French fries, and Alaskan halibut, Arctic Circle in Soda Springs makes sure you get the meal you deserve. Add one of the above-the-rim shakes and you have a meal fit for a king at a price that can feed the whole family. Whether it's lunch, dinner, or a treat after the game, stop by today and visit Renee and the team at the Soda Springs Arctic Circle on 2nd South and 1st East. It's where the good stuff is.
Caleb Burgraff here on the pregame show with Kelly Kidd, the head coach of the Declo High School Hornets. And Coach, first thing, your season after Sugar Salem, you had an early season loss in that one, then you've come back, you've won your last 4 games. How proud are you of your team for bouncing back from that loss, which was a tough one, and also for being able to reel off the win streak with the way they've been able to do it?
Well, when a few years ago when we scheduled Sugar, it was for the purpose of getting a tough game and playing some competition that would challenge us. So we went up there knowing that that's the kind of game we were going to have, and we see it as a learning experience. It shows us all our places where you need to improve. And so we came home, we went to work on, with them, we couldn't stop the run, and they're a good running team. So we come back, shored up our defense for a couple weeks and forgot pass defense, and then got lit up with Kimberly a couple weeks later, and then we went to work on that. So a lot of things can be learned from an early season loss, especially against a good team.
You guys have been one of the more consistent teams in the state of Idaho, particularly on the eastern side of the state. What's kind of gone into that? You've been coaching here for 20 years now. How much has gone into developing a program here?
Well, a lot goes into it, and of course tradition. Kids believe they're going to win the game when they step on the field. But we've got the system. It's the kids in the 4th and 5th grade are running the same thing that we're running at the high school level. We've had good coaches down there that, to me, I think those younger coaches need to instill a love of the game with the kids. And we've been able to keep our numbers high. Our kids come and play. They want to be part of the program. And so we're excited what's developed here, and we expect them to perform at a high level every time they're on the field.
Coach, when you look at your team, you mentioned the defensive struggles, but the offense this year after Sugar Salem really hasn't had many problems. You put up 50 points in the game multiple times since then. Who are some of the players that really lead your team on the offensive level?
Well, we have returned Braxton Webb at running back. He's been important to us for the last couple years. In fact, he scored in the state playoffs when he was a freshman as a running back, and he's grown up. He's an excellent running back. He's got a cousin in the backfield, and Tyler Matthews, and he's the workhorse. He's the Jim Brown of Declo. He runs downhill hard. And then we were fortunate to get a transfer student in this summer, quarterback kid that is outstanding. He transferred up here from Utah. He started at a 5A school in Utah last year. Family, his grandpa's very ill, and they moved up here to help take care of him. And he's as good a quarterback as he's probably the best quarterback that I've ever coached at Declo. And set records last week throwing the football. Had 6 touchdown passes and about 350 yards. So he's a talented athlete to mix with those guys that can run the ball.
Caleb Burgraff here on the pregame show with Kelly Kidd, the head coach of the Declo Hornets. And Coach, we talked about the offense, now look over at the defense. Where's the biggest hole on the defense that you've needed to fill at this point?
Well, we don't see up here, we haven't seen traditionally people that spread the field and spread our defense as far as we've had this year. So we've had to really work on defensive back and covering up holes. Our guys were standing around watching the ball being thrown to people instead of getting after it. We've improved our man-to-man coverage. We've developed a better pass defense than what we were in week 1 or 2. And we've had to work on it. It hasn't been easy. And we think you can put 9 guys in the box and stop a 2A team. And we've had a lot of 2A teams this year throw the ball around on us, as well as 3A teams.
Now looking at Soda, final question for you. They're a team that's just coming off their first win of the year. They beat Malad 28-8. But before that, they've really struggled in some of their games so far on the season, including games at Westside. But as far as competition that you both share, they played against Firth and played Firth fairly tough in a game that was in the rain, tough conditions. What are you expecting from Soda tonight, especially with a new coach you haven't seen before?
Well, we've seen film on them, and again, they're going to present that challenge of covering people in space. I think we're improved with that. I really think our guys up front are going to get busy and put some pressure in there. And, the sweeps and running the perimeter out of a wide open offense, we've seen that every week now, and I hope that we're improved on that. Everybody that comes to play Declo is ready to play us. It's a measuring stick of where they are and where they line up in the state, and we expect a tough, competitive game out of Soda.
Coach Kidd, thank you so much again for the time, and good luck tonight.
Thank you.
That was Coach Kelly Kidd of the Declo Hornets. You're tuned into the Coach Cliff Garbett pregame coaches show, brought to you by Arctic Circle in Soda Springs. Our chat with Cliff Garbett of the Soda Springs Cardinals is coming up next on yours home for Soda Springs football, KBRV 800 The Bear, with live video streaming online at mylocalradio.com.
K-Slot fever is continuing at Lalaton's in Soda Springs the week of October 8th through the 14th. Drop into Lalaton's and grab yourself canned vegetables, a case of 24 for $12. Or grab Western Family cans of soup, 24 cans for $12 as well. Make sure you don't miss out on their water, as they have 24 packs of Western Family half-liter bottles, $1.99 each. Or if you're looking for peanut butter, grab yourself a 64-ounce creamy or chunky peanut butter for $6.49. It's all at Lalaton's in Soda Springs.
There's an organization in southeast Idaho whose wildlife conservation efforts have been commended by the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, the Idaho Fish and Wildlife Foundation, and the North American Moose Foundation. Who is this organization? It's Monsanto. While Monsanto is honored by the recognition they receive, their ongoing dedication to the environment is its own reward. For all of us. Monsanto. Imagine.
Welcome back out to the pregame show. We're in the middle of the Coach Cliff Garbett pregame coaches show, brought to you by Arctic Circle in Soda Springs, where the good stuff is. We'll be back with Coach Cliff Garbett right after this on KBRV 800 The Bear and online at mylocalradio.com.
By choosing high-quality ingredients like Black Angus beef, French fries, and Alaskan halibut, Arctic Circle in Soda Springs makes sure you get the meal you deserve. Add one of the above-the-rim shakes and you have a meal fit for a king at a price that can feed the whole family. Whether it's lunch, dinner, or a treat after the game, stop by today and visit Renee and the team at the Soda Springs Arctic Circle on 2nd South and 1st East. It's where the good stuff is.
Caleb Bergraff alongside Coach Cliff Garbett from the Soda Springs football team. And Coach, for the first time this year, you and I get to sit here and talk about a win. That had to put a smile on your face, finally being able to get that 0 off of that side of the record and get your first win as a head coach.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, it's my first win as a varsity coach, and got the monkey off my back, and it was exciting. The kids were excited too, so it was a lot of fun.
When you finally got that win, how much of a load came off the kids? Up in the press box, I saw them celebrating and jumping on the field, but was it an extra emotion that you were expecting, or did you not expect how good they felt about it?
I expect them to feel good because I did. They were super excited. I'm glad they finally got it because, they just needed that good feeling and to get that monkey off their back as well. So I really think they enjoyed it, and hopefully we can just keep it going forward.
When you look at that, this guarantees you at least playing time in the postseason. It could go into a playoff with 3 other teams, depending on how things work out in the back end of the schedule. But the guarantee is that you will have a chance to play in the postseason at this point in time. How big of a monkey does that take off the kids' back too, though? And does that relax them at all now going into the rest of the season?
Well, I think it doesn't really matter with where we're at with that. Our focus right now is just take it a game at a time and try and improve ourselves a little bit every week, every game. Just try and get a little bit better in practice each week and every game, and see where we're at the end of it all.
Now, Coach, when you look at that win against Malad, it was a little bit of a beat-up team, but on the same side, you guys pretty much owned almost both sides of the football the entire night. They had a couple of long plays that they broke off on you on the defensive side, but they weren't able to score till late in the fourth quarter, and your offense, other than a couple of miscues, didn't turn the ball over at all, and were able to just continually grind. Is that what you've been looking for from this team all year long?
Yeah, after looking at the film, we definitely have a lot of things we can work on still. We even had some close things on defense where they came close to, breaking a punt return down the sideline. And then they had a fumble deep in our territory that we got. We did. I thought we snapped the ball really well. Quarterback to center exchange. We didn't have any fumbles there, which has been the first time this season. So, yeah, we're doing things better, and that's exciting.
Caleb Burgraff with Coach Cliff Garbett. And, Coach, now that you move forward into your next game, you get Declo. It's going to be another tough test for you. What are your thoughts on Declo when you see them? They're 4-1 on the season, and their offense in the last 4 games has really looked very good.
They have some good players from the little bit of film I've seen so far. They hustle. They play with full effort. They're going to be a great test for us, and we're going to have to bring our A game to compete with them.
When you look at this game, it's on the road. You have 2 road games in a row now leading up to Bear Lake. Is it good to have another road game in between the game to Bear Lake, so that you can get back to used to being on the road and have kind of that rhythm set up? Or would you rather be coming off of a home game going to Bear Lake?
To me, it doesn't really make a difference. I mean, the crowds are there, but our focus is just doing it the same every week, regardless of where we're at. We play with the same effort and the same intensity every time we step on the field and just try to get ourselves better each week.
Now, how much of a message would it be for you guys to send to Declo if you were able to get a win against them? This is a team that you could be playing in the first round of the playoffs. What are some of the things that come with getting a victory in the regular season against a team you might see later on?
It's a big deal if we could get that. Our big thing, though, like I said, is just to control what we can control, and that's ourselves and doing the best that we can. And if we can get a win from that, then great. Let people know that we're here to contend and play the best that we can play.
When you look at your team and the kids that are now getting healthy, your team is starting to get back to that point where you were hoping they would be at the beginning of the season. Who are some of the kids that you still are waiting to really hit their peak? Obviously, Devin Adams is playing much better. Tanner Myers is playing very good. Who are some of the kids that haven't really gotten a chance to shine yet, that you're waiting for that chance, that really have that ability to bust out?
I think any of our kids really have the capability of showing. Actually, one of the kids that we were really impressed with was Andrew Stewart film this week. He did a heck of a job blocking outside, and he really surprised us, and we're just hoping to see all of our kids, because it is a team sport, and try and get the most out of all of them that we can.
Coach Garbett, as always, thank you so much for the time.
Thank you.
That was Coach Cliff Garbett. This has been the Coach Cliff Garbett pregame coaches show, brought to you by Arctic Circle, where the good stuff is in Soda Springs. Kickoff and the starting lineups are right around the corner for us here on KBRV 800 The Bear and online with live video streaming at mylocalradio.com. We'll be back with all that after this on your home for Soda Springs football.
Cattlemen have a code of ethics. Live each day with courage. Take pride in your work. Always finish what you start. Do what has to be done. Be tough but fair. When you make a promise, keep it. Ride for the brand. Talk less and say more. Remember that some things aren't for sale, and know where to draw the line. The folks at Mound Valley Cattle Company in Thatcher, Idaho are proud of the students at Grace High School, investing in the leaders of tomorrow. The Mound Valley Cattle Company, 208-339-0614.
MyLocalRadio.com is Southwest Wyoming and Northeast Utah's top website and the best source for local area news, weather, sports, and community events. And that's not all. MyLocalRadio.com features thousands of photographs of Wyoming and Utah high school events, from speech and drama competitions to local events, sports and activities, and much more. Check it out today and see what MyLocalRadio.com has for you.
There has never been a better time to convert to natural gas. Even in the summer months, natural gas is worth asking for. Rage Plumbing and Heating in Soda Springs will replace your furnace that caused you problems this winter with a new natural gas furnace, or even install a natural gas water heater to keep your water hot. Plus, Reed's can add a water softener to your home. And if you want to cool things down, Reed's Plumbing and Heating will install an energy-efficient Lennox air conditioner. All at Reed's Plumbing and Heating, 180 South 3rd Street, Soda Springs.
It's so pretty here.
Katie's away at college,
There's the library.
but she can still be close to her mom back home.
Read all the best books.
Travis is working on a big report. High-speed internet puts a world of information at his fingertips. Silver Star Communications provides connections that help students learn and keep families close, even when they're miles apart. Get your family in touch and informed with high-speed internet from Silver Star Communications. Call today or visit silverstar.com.
They need your help. They're overstocked with Lazy Boy and Catnapper recliners, sofas, and love seats. They'll wheel and deal right now at Sanders Furniture, Flooring, and Appliance. If you will help them make room in their showroom, they'll help you keep money in your bank account while you're enjoying high-quality, comfortable Lazy Boy and Catnapper recliners, sofas, and love seats. They need your help, and you need to save money. Wheel and deal right now at Sanders Furniture, Flooring, and Appliances on Main Street in Soda Springs.
Welcome back out. It's the national anthem here at the home of the Hornets. There is your national anthem for the Soda Springs for tonight's game between the Soda Springs Cardinals and the Declo Hornets on KBRV 800 The Bear, with live video streaming online at mylocalradio.com. And I encourage you, if you haven't checked that out yet, be sure to get on there. We're high above the field right now with a great view of tonight's contest. And time for our starting lineups right now as we start off with the Hornets of Declo High School. They are going to be bringing out their offensive starters looking like this. Colin Carpenter wearing the number 3. Braxton Webb will be wearing the number 5. Both of them are seniors on the squad. Ezra Bailey wears the number 6, also a senior wide receiver. Hunter Olson is a running back wearing the number 7. He'll be getting a lot of the carries for the Declo Hornets. Calvin Miles is that senior transfer quarterback that you heard Coach Kelly Kidd talking about in our pregame show. He'll be starting at that position. Tyler Matthews is a junior wearing the number 34. He will be also one of the running backs that the Hornets will be pushing out there in tonight's contest. The offensive line looks like this. Senior number 50 is Gus Southern. Number 15 is Cy Osterhout. Number 56 is Lane Osterhout. Both of them are one is a sophomore, one is a senior for the Hornets. Bryson Robinson is a junior wearing the number 58, and wrapping up their offensive line is number 67, Ricardo Alvarez. The two teams out at the center of the field are getting ready for the coin toss as the officials talking things over with them. The coin is up. It is onto the officials' hands. Soda has won the toss, and they have deferred to the second half. So Soda will be kicking off to the Declo Hornets most likely here in the first half of the game. And it is going to be the Cardinals kicking off from right to left to open up the matchup. And so with that, we move over to the Soda Springs defense, which is going to be led tonight by Tanner Myers, a senior linebacker for the Cardinals. Andrew Stewart will be out there at linebacker as well, wearing the number 9. Rich Thompson is going to be a defensive back wearing the number 10. He's a junior defensive back. Devin Adams will be a linebacker in the Cardinals defense as well, wearing the number 11. Dylan Farnes will possibly be on the defensive end. We're not sure if it's going to be him or Morgan Steele, but he will be most likely a linebacker for the Cardinals. Grant Clegg is going to be one of their defensive backs wearing the number 22. He is a senior. And Christopher Lloyd will be out there as a defensive back as well, a senior wearing the number 27. The defensive line looks like this. Brandon Steiner wears the number 12. He will be on the line. Hunter Bybee, also a defensive lineman, wearing number 64, and Caden Brown, wearing number 69, will be on the lines for the Declo Hornets. And their final linebacker for the Soda Springs Cardinals is Matt Smith, as he is back. Last week was his first game back for the Soda Springs Cardinals. Tonight, he is looking to try and keep his momentum moving forward as far as the success that he has had, and he will look to try and make an impact on the game tonight, as he did have some struggles for the Soda Springs Cardinals in that matchup. But as far as mobility, I should say, and they had to pull him out for a little bit towards the back half of the game. Cardinals out there in their road gray uniforms with the black numbers outlined in red, and gray pants as well with black trim down the sides. On the other side for the Hornets of Declo. It's all black with white numbers, and it is going to be Devin Adams to kick the ball away. Two Hornets stand back at the 10-yard line set to return the ball. That is Colin Carpenter and Era Bailey. The kick is a high kick back to the 10-yard line. It's going to be taken in by Carpenter, rolls around to his right. He's going to take it up the field before being tripped up at the 25-yard line, and that is where the Declo Hornets are going to take over on this possession to start out the game. Their JV team had a very strong start, and they're going to look to try and continue with that as their offense takes the field again under the command of their senior quarterback, Calvin Millers, who again was a transfer from a 5A school down in Utah and has definitely been one of the leaders. This kid had high praise, one of the best players that he's ever coached. He's going to hand this one around to the left side, taking the ball. Tyler Matthews is going to be bottled up and tripped up after a 5-yard gain.
Matthews around the left side,
and he's popped down at the 30-yard line in the matchup right now.
Picks up 5 yards, second down.
Cardinals will give up 5 yards on that opening run. And again, we'll go back onto the defensive side after getting a pretty good stop. Again, Miller's in the under center, I should say, is going to hand this one off. Short handoff. Hunter Olson wrapped up after a 3-yard gain. A good stop there coming in that case by the Soda Springs Cardinals. Holds it to, they're going to actually give him 4 yards on the carry as he gets his first carry of the night. And it will bring up a third down and about a yard to go for the Declo Hornets from the 38-yard line. So Miller under center once again, 3 backs stacked up to the near side, handoff right up the gut to the fullback, and plowing his way forward. Braxton Webb is going to have the first down, give him 2 yards on the gain.
It's a Declo Hornet.
And the Hornets will have a first down to look to keep it moving the ball down the field. That'll keep the Soda Springs Cardinals defense out, but again, they have not given up any major gains to Declo at this point in time. And the clock winds to 10.5 to go as Millers again brings his offense to the line. One wide receiver to the near side, working from left to right. Pitches the ball to his back. That's once again going to be Braxton Webb. He gains about 4 yards to the 40-yard line off the outside and will get himself to 6 yards on the night. And it brings up a second down and 6 to go at the 40-yard line of the Declo Hornets. Hornets will again march up to the line, still in that stacked formation. This time, though, they're going to bunch out 3 wide receivers, 1 to the far side of the field, 2 to the near side. Handoff is going to go again up the gut. This time, Webb nowhere to go. Falls forward for maybe a yard gain on the play, and the Cardinals will again force a long third down with 5 yards left to go.
Matthew Smith with the tackle. Looks to be an injured player.
So third down and 5 yards to go. Cardinals will have an injured player come out as the Declo Hornets will line up again in that stacked formation. Handoff, faked around. Miller's going to look to pass this one. Rolls out to his right, throws it underneath everybody, and out of bounds at the 49-yard line. Hunter Olson is going to gain 8 yards on the play.
Gain of 7, and it's another.
And a first down for the Declo Hornets as the completion comes over to the near side where Hunter Olson is able to reel that one in. But the Soda Springs Cardinals so far avoiding giving up the big play with 9 minutes and 17 seconds left to go here in quarter number 1. At the line, once again, 1 wide receiver split out to the far side. Handoff goes up the gut, juking his way around a couple of different players and sidestepping his way up the field is Tyler Matthews. He falls forward this time. Give him 6 yards on that carry.
Gain of 7.
And right now it's been a really just a consistent offensive threat coming from the Declo Hornets to this point in time in the game. They haven't really busted off anything major, but they have just continually been pushing the ball forward down the field. An official's timeout really quick As the Hornets come up to the line, once again, it'll be an offset pro formation with 2 wide receivers to the far side of the field. Ball right about in the middle of the field between the hash marks, and 1 wide receiver to the near side as well. Working from left to right, Miller's again under center. Looks to the defense, takes a snap, drops back. Plenty of time to pass. He's going to send this one deep. Has a man, but overthrows his receiver. He was trying to get it to Ezra Bailey, but led him too much on the play, and it goes as a 3rd down and 3 yards to go for the Declo Hornets on the 2nd passing attempt for Calvin Miles. So 8:49 to go. Clock stops after the incompletion. Soda Springs looking to get their offense onto the field and give their defense a little bit of a break. It'll be that double wing formation, and a flag is going to come out as it looks like this one's going to be against the Declo Hornets. And it is going to be a false start on the Hornets. That'll move them back 5 yards. Their first penalty of the night will make this now a 3rd down and 8. A much tougher position to try and move the ball forward in. Ball is at the Soda Springs 48-yard line, working from left to right. Ball towards the near side hash mark. And it will be, again, that double wing formation with 3 backs stacked up to the right side of quarterback Miles. He's going to fake the handoff, drops back to pass, has a man in his face, gets rid of it quickly, off the hands of his diving receiver. He was trying to get it into the hands of Colin Carpenter, and it goes off of his fingertips, and the Cardinals will most likely be back to receive a punt here from the Declo Hornets. And actually, scratch that, Miles is going to trot back out onto the field. So unless he is the punter for the Declo Hornets, they're going to try and go for this one with 8:41 to go in the first quarter. An aggressive call, but they are in Soda Springs territory. So Soda Springs will have to be ready defensively here as 4 wide receivers are set up in the formation. Miles takes the snap, drops back, a little screen pass over the middle. Nobody in front to try and tackle the back. It's going to be a sprint down to the 21-yard line for Braxton Webb. A little screen pass that ends up gaining 27 yards on the play, and the Hornets will get a first down. The Cardinals not ready. It was a late adjustment by Soda Springs on the screenplay as they were still expecting a punt, and it is a huge break to give the Hornets a great field position in the standings, and the pass again completed to Braxton Webb up the gut. In the pistol formation, it's going to be Miles, drops back to pass. Again, a blitz in his face, throws the ball to an outlet receiver. That's Ezra Webb, who's going to gain 10 yards. No, more, upended at the 10-yard line by the Cardinals. An 11-yard completion, though, to Ezra Bailey. And Bailey will get a new first down for the Declo Hornets on the 11-yard completion. A huge hit on the far side, though, might discourage them from doing any more of those passes to that underneath route. The Soda Springs Cardinals on defense again at the 10-yard line, backs against their own goal, will force Miles to drop back, throws the ball to the near side over the head of his receiver, this time going again for Braxton Webb, but just overthrows him, and it's 7:56 to go in the first quarter, and Declo still threatening with a 2nd down and 10 yards to go. They can get a first down in front of the goal line as the ball is on the Hornet side of the 10-yard line. Substitution runs in. It's Trey Ramsey who comes in. Ezra Bailey will come over to the sidelines to take a seat for the Hornets as they'll move the ball over to the far side hash mark, working from left to right. Under center once again is Miles. Puts a man into motion to the near side of the formation. They're going to hand this one off to the fullback and sprinting into the end zone with a 10-yard run. Braxton Webb on his 4th carry is going to get the first touchdown of the night for either team. And the Cardinals find themselves down 6-0 to the Declo Hornets as they will look to try and put up the PAT and take a 7-0 lead with the score with 7:50 left on the clock. A 10-yard run. And it will be Christian Kidd to attempt the extra point. The kicker for the Declo Hornets lines up. Snap is good, hold is good, kick is up, and it is just good. Sneaks its way through the uprights, and the score now moves to 7-0. The Declo Hornets on top of the Soda Springs Cardinals on KBRV 800 The Bear with live video streaming online at mylocalradio.com.
Case lot fever is continuing at Lalaton's in Soda Springs the week of October 8th through the 14th. Drop into Lalaton's and grab yourself canned vegetables, a case of 24 for $12. Or grab Western Family cans of soup, 24 cans for $12 as well. Make sure you don't miss out on their water, as they have 24 packs of Western Family half-liter bottles, $1.99 each. Or if you're looking for peanut butter, grab yourself a 64-ounce creamy or chunky peanut butter for $6.49. It's all at Lalaton's in Soda Springs.
Welcome back out to the home of the Declo Hornets. Once again, Caleb Berggraf here as Ben Jacobson joins me on the mic now after having to go and unlock his car and get himself back into his car, is the story I was told. And
yes, that is true, unfortunately, for a 12-year-old girl.
So it was 7:50 to go. The Cardinals find themselves down 7-0, and I'm glad it looks like you got back into your car and everything seems to be going good, and we welcome you up here.
Yes, we're 7-0 though. That's not so good.
What the defense did not again give up any big plays except for on that fourth down play. 7-0, and the kick is coming up for the Hornets. They'll kick it off left to right. The kick is going to be fielded by Myers at the 15-yard line on a hop, comes back to his right and is wrapped up at the 23, but decent starting field position for the Soda Springs Cardinals as they will look to try and bring the ball up the field and answer back to the touchdown to the Declo Hornets. And Ben, one of the big things that is coming out in this game, Dylan Farnes no longer the starting running back for the Soda Springs Cardinals as Andrew Stewart has been moved into that position.
The coaching staff really liked his effort blocking out there and felt like, he was deserving of giving that spot a try. I'm sure we'll see Dylan there quite a bit, and but they're going Stewart for now.
7:45 with Adams lined up in the pistol, two wide receivers to either side. He'll send a man into motion. That's Myers, fakes the handoff, now gives the handoff to Stewart, who is going to be bottled up after maybe gaining a yard, and they're actually going to give him no gain on that play. And it'll bring up a second down and 10 yards to go. The other interesting thing to bring up for the Soda Springs Cardinals is Morgan Steele also back into the lineup. He was cleared to play. He does have a pad on his helmet to avoid getting any extra concussions.
I was told by his dad that those pads decrease 33% of the hit on them, so hopefully that'll keep him safe.
Clock winds to under 7 minutes and 12 seconds to go. Adams again in the pistol, takes a snap. He'll fake the handoff. Now they do an end around to Myers. Plenty of room to run on the near side. He's got a first down and more. 20 yards gain, and he's going to be taken down at the 49. They'll mark him up to the 50 for a 29-yard rumble on the end reverse. A great play there on the second play for the Soda Springs Cardinals, taking advantage of what Declo's coach Kidd said is a little bit of a spotty defense for them that has been giving up points so far this year.
Yeah, that was a very good recognition by either the players or the coach to see that there.
And Tanner Myers also waited a moment to make sure that he saw the hole, let it develop, let all the blocks develop ahead of him as well. At 6:44 to go, clock winds. Cardinals will snap it once again as Adams is going to hand the ball off to Stewart. A little bit of a stumble on the transition in the handoff there, but it still does go for a 2-yard gain for Stewart from the backfield.
They both had that for 2 yards, huh? I don't know whether Adams wanted to pull it, and Andrew was definitely not wanting to fumble it, but better that both of them have it than neither of them. Huh?
That's a dangerous play if you're a coach on the sideline, but you're happy to get the 2 yards out of it. Moves the ball up to the 48-yard line of the Declo Hornets, and Adams will again line up in that pistol formation. Two wide receivers to either side. Into motion goes Myers. Fake the handoff to him. They'll throw a liner over the middle on a little bit of a crossing route, running that post route to the middle was Morgan Steele, but the pass leads him by about 2 yards, and a dive is not going to be enough to have him reel that pass in. A good idea, though. The defense did leave that pass open. Steele did have the step on the far side, as defending him on that far side was Ezra Bailey, the defensive back. 6:02 to go. Clock stops. 7-0 on the Gate City Real Estate scoreboard here at the home of the Declo Hornets. The Cardinals with the ball, 3rd down and 8. Snap goes to Adams. He'll take the snap. Is going to be wrapped up from behind. Pulled down after gaining a yard forward. Two different players on the tackle. Cy Osterhout and Lane Osterhout, cousins for the Declo Hornets. Cousins long removed, not necessarily related closely, but the two of them combine on the tackle after Adams tries to run straight up the gut.
That looked like that had a bit of a chance if them guys don't miss on, if they do miss on the outside edges. That was actually pretty good blocking, just couldn't get past that first wave.
It will force a punt, though, on 4th down and 8 yards to go. Snap is a good one to Adams, and he is going to line one deep down the field. A great punt. Fair catch is called for. Ball's on the ground, and a little bit of a scrum for it, and it does appear that Declo's come up with the ball as Colin Carpenter was quick to jump onto the ball, and the Hornets will take over at their 15-yard line. But I think Soda Springs, in those first 2 drives, yes, the Hornets scored. Yes, they got stopped on their opening offensive drive, but I think that there's a little bit of hope there for the Cardinals in the way that they played.
This is a very good team. Won 2 state championships just a couple years ago, and, you know, we want to compete well with them.
And you're also looking at a quarterback again who transferred in from a 5A Utah school in Miles, who's under center. Pro formation offset, is going to take the snap, drops back to pass, has time, throws the ball deep down the field and almost intercepted. Tanner Myers stretched out for the ball, but just over his fingertips. Trying to get the ball to Carpenter was Miles, and Calvin Miles comes up with his 3rd incompletion of the game. Myers, you got to applaud his effort there. It almost looked like he was the intended receiver on that play instead of Carpenter. Clock stops at 5:08 to go with the incompletion. 7-0, Declo on top here on the Gate City Real Estate scoreboard. Declo will line up at the line of scrimmage with 2 wide receivers, 1 split out to each side. And now they're going to move Carpenter out into the slot position on the near side. Now they're going to bring him up towards the formation. He'll line up as a tight end, 2 backs behind, and they're also going to bring Hunter Olson over towards that side of the formation. Miles takes the handoff, or snap. He's going to throw this one near side. Pass is batted up into the air as Ridge Thompson got a finger on it, but somehow the ball goes into the hands of Carpenter and goes for a 9-yard gain.
I'm not sure, but I think that was an illegal shift on them too. Number 3 come into the line, put his hand down, and then he picked it back up and looked out as the receiver was also coming in and shift. I don't think he can do that. That's unfortunate for the Cardinals that the ref, or I don't know the rules on that.
And a good defensive play too is they got the fingertip on the ball, but it just doesn't go their way as a handoff straight up the gut by the fullback is going to end up gaining a lot of yards and much more than the Cardinals want to, as breaking into the open field down the left sideline and finally being drugged down at the 15-yard line is Braxton Webb. That goes as a gain of 60 yards rumbling down the field.
And it's another Declo Hornet.
A huge run for Braxton Webb that should have been wrapped up multiple times at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, we've had guys there. I don't know quite what happened.
No one was able to wrap him up, and Webb really turned on the afterburn as one of the faster players on this Declo team. It sets them up in the red zone at the 15-yard line. Left to right, they'll move. Miles takes the snap, takes the handoff, and he's going to be wrapped up in the backfield by the Cardinals. A 5-yard loss as a host of Soda Springs gray jerseys wrap him up and spin him to the ground. That's how you answer back if you're the Cardinals after giving up the long run, as that puts Miles into negative yardage on the night as the quarterback and puts him as a 2nd down and 15 yards to go.
Better watch the screen here after that kind of pressure. That was good pressure by the front line.
And that's exactly what Declo's gone to several times now in this game. They've pulled the screenplay out twice, particularly on the 4th down try that they went for that ended up going for a 27-yard gain up the middle on a screenplay. 3:20 to go, first quarter of play, 2nd down, 15 yards to go on the Gate City Real Estate scoreboard. The Cardinals down 7-0. Miles in the shotgun, takes the snap, drops back, 1-step drop, throws it to the near side, trying to find a pass to Colin Carpenter, who slips up as he tries to cut back to the football. It goes off his hands and incomplete. And it brings up a 3rd down and 15, and here's definitely where you got to be careful if you're the Cardinals. You got to come away with a stop, and already we saw the kicking game from Christian Kidd. It's not bad. He did make the extra point, but it was a line drive kick to get that extra point into the air. 3:07 to go, 3rd down and 15 yards to go. 5 wide receivers, empty backfield for Miles. 3 wide receivers to the near side. He's going to drop back. Looks down in the middle of the field. Has a man and almost breaking it up, but pulling in the pass is Braxton Webb as he is taken down just short of the first down at the 5.5 yard line. And it'll bring up a 4th down and a half yard to go on the 14-yard completion.
Boy, you can't play any better defense than that, and if anything, we were there just a hair early. I was looking for a flag, and in all that, he still pulled that in. He's a very good athlete, and it shows right there. He can run the ball, he can catch. He's a big target for their quarterback.
That's twice that their offense has been able to take advantage of a good defensive play by the Cardinals. Short gain yardage here. They're going to do a quarterback sneak up the middle. Miles not going down into the end zone. A 5-yard run for Calvin Miles as he puts the Declo Hornets up by 2 scores, 13-0 with the extra point pending here at the home of the Declo Hornets. And this is starting to turn into a game that the Hornets are enjoying at this point in time. If they can keep the offensive production at this level, then they'll end up really being able to put up a lot of points onto the board. Extra point and PAT coming as the snap is good, hold is good, the kick is no good. It dropped down as that is blocked, and the Cardinals will remain down by 2 scores, but 13-0 with the offense coming back out on the field. We'll be back after this on KBRV 800 The Bear and online at mylocalradio.com.
There's an organization in southeast Idaho whose wildlife conservation efforts have been commended by the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, the Idaho Fish and Wildlife Foundation, and the North American Moose Foundation. Who is this organization? It's Monsanto. While Monsanto is honored by the recognition they receive, their ongoing dedication to the environment is its own reward for all of us. Monsanto. Imagine.
Welcome back out to the home of the Declo Hornets.
1, 3, and 4.
With 2:19 left to go in the first quarter of play, the Hornets find themselves up 13-0 on the Gate City Real Estate scoreboard over the Soda Springs Cardinals. The Cardinals offense, though, did show some decent signs of life in their first trip down the field as they were able to move the ball into Hornets territory briefly. They'll have to repeat that effort if they want to stay in this game, as the big problem they've had in some games against big teams like this is they've gotten down big early on and have not been able to keep pace. Another kickoff coming up from the Hornets. Line drive kick down the middle of the field. Myers fields this one at the 14-yard line. Coming straight up the middle. He's going to make a move to his right side and falls across to the 35-yard line. And that's where Soda Springs will start off at the end of the first quarter with 2:11 left to go. They will move the Cardinals up to the 35. As I said, they'll mark them at the far side hash mark. And with 65 yards to go, what do you expect from the Cardinals on this drive?
Well, hopefully they can keep generating just consistency. They move the ball. They just need to do it all the way.
2:11 to go as the Cardinals come out in those two wide out set to each side, and Adams has pressure into his face immediately and it goes down. Several different Hornets back there again, but the last one off the pile is Tyler Matthews as he ends up costing the Cardinals 3 yards, taking down Adams on his second official carry of the game. But that one, again, he just had pressure in his face almost right away.
Well, and he had good coverage, too, so it's probably better that he pulled it and took the 2 or 3 yard loss rather than turning the ball over.
13-0, a minute 35 to go. Cardinals again to come out in that pistol formation with 2 wide receivers to each side. On the far side hash mark, right to left they'll turn, and a flag comes out. This will be a false start on Soda Springs, so 5 yards will march them back to a second down and 18 to go, and the Cardinals not moving the right way on this drive after they were able to get a little bit of momentum on that first drive of the game. And right now you expect another big play from Soda Springs, and this is where they pulled out the screenplay themselves.
Well, that would work, and if you noticed how far off their the slot receiver, their safeties are playing here, there might be a bit of an opportunity out here at the slot too.
Particularly on the near side with Morrison, as the snap is going to go to Adams. He pulls it out to the near side as to Morrison, who's going to fall forward for a gain of 3. Not much, but it does move the ball forward, and right now you just need to start getting the ball back in that type of emotion. Hope your defense can get a stop.
Well, they saw the same thing as us, but that was very good flow by the outside linebacker to get over there when you run that cross like that.
First completion for Adams in the game. Coming up a little bit gimpy is Morrison. So you hope he's not injured on the play. Got wrapped up around the ankle, and they're going to sub him out with Christian Lloyd. Or excuse me,
Chris Lloyd.
Chris Lloyd
yep,
coming into the game. So he will be the new slot or outside receiver for the Soda Springs Cardinals, as they are going to have to help Morrison off the field as he has a severe limp on his left leg that has a brace on it right now.
He's tackled there, wasn't he? Tackled kind of by the ankles and twisted. That's kind of that alligator roll, and that puts a lot of pressure on the lower leg. It must have got him a little.
You just hope that it's nothing too serious and he can return. 33 seconds to go. Clock winds. Cardinals with a 3rd down and 15. Right to left they move. Snap goes into Adams' hands. Plenty of time, but that disappears in a hurry. He's going to be dropped for a 7-yard loss, as this time it is Braxton Webb, the first man to get there on the tackle, and the clock will continue to wind to what will most likely be the end of the quarter after a loss of 8 yards goes to Soda Springs and the Cardinals on the sack. The second sack that they've given up on the night. And again, this offense starting to move in the wrong direction as they will end the first quarter. The score 13-0 Declo on top of Soda Springs on KBRV 800 The Bear, with live video streaming online at mylocalradio.com.
Hey America, we need to have a little talk. We've got a lot of food in this country. We've got so much food that we can't eat it all. So how are 17 million kids in America struggling with hunger? That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks gathers surplus food and gets it to hungry kids who need it. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Cattlemen have a code of ethics. Live each day with courage. Take pride in your work. Always finish what you start. Do what has to be done. Be tough but fair. When you make a promise, keep it. Ride for the brand. Talk less and say more. Remember that some things aren't for sale, and know where to draw the line. The folks at Mound Valley Cattle Company in Thatcher, Idaho are proud of the students at Grace High School, investing in the leaders of tomorrow. The Mound Valley Cattle Company, 208-339-0614.
Welcome back out to the home of the Declo Hornets. A 13-0 score on the Gate City Real Estate scoreboard, as the Hornets have really been able to find a rhythm. 12 minutes up on the clock, and the Cardinals will be punting away from their own 22-yard line after moving backwards 11 yards on the last possession. Snap is a good one. Adams sends a high kick deep down the field. It's going to be fair caught at the 47-yard line with Braxton Webb pulling it in, and that is where the Declo Hornets will take over on their third offensive possession. They found the end zone on their first two, and they're hoping to repeat that fate. They've had the help of two big offensive plays, though. The offense really has been just a consistent march up the field, and they've never really been able to jump anything too quickly up the field as they look to try and keep that going with a consistent march against the Cardinals defense. 11:53 to go, right to left, as the two teams will trade the sides of the field. It'll be two wide receivers, one tight end on the near side of the formation and two backs in the backfield. They'll run it out to the right side, as it is going to be a 9-yard gain up ahead to the 45-yard line of the Soda Springs Cardinals with Keegan Duncan, who played in the JV game for the Declo Hornets, and picks up, as I said, about 8 yards on the carry to bring up a 2nd down and 2. And again,
he played well in the JV game too. He played right out of half and first started the game and just really ran hard all the time there.
Another handoff. This time will go straight up the gut. It's good enough for a first down, as that'll move it forward for about 4 yards. Tyler Matthews on the carry, his third carry of the game. He's got 15 yards now on the night. And with 11:38 on the clock, after the chains get set, the clock will again continue to wind. It'll be Miles again leading his team out there, who right now, Miles only 69 yards passing, no touchdowns, but he did set a record last week for the Declo Hornets. 6 touchdowns and 350 yards passing through the air in their win last week. So definitely a threat through the air, but their running game also finding holes right now. They've already rushed for over 100 yards. And if my math is correct, they have close to 110. Miles under center, 2 backs behind him, 2 wide receivers to the near side. He's going to hand this one off to the near side. Coming up with the ball is Webb. He sidesteps a tackler, sidesteps one more, and rolls his way to the 35-yard line. They'll mark him back at the 34.
Too much, though. It's a nice run on first down. That gives you a lot of options now.
Makes it 2nd down and 7. And he's already up to 89 yards rushing on the night. A lot of that thanks to that big 69-yard rush that he had earlier. 11:22 after going out of bounds. The clock stops as Declo will mark their way up to the line of scrimmage. Webb, the feature back in the backfield. And in front of him is Tyler Matthews with Miles under center. He'll take the snap, looks to his right, now comes back to his left and has a receiver. It's a pass that is completed. Coming up with it is Ezra Bailey at the 28-yard line of the Cardinals. Another 7-yard gain. And again, the Hornets right now not doing anything flashy, but just a consistent march down the field. Second reception for Ezra. Gives the Hornets another 1st and 10. Ball again at the 28-yard line. Declo in their black uniforms with white numbers will come marching up to the line of scrimmage on the near side hash mark. Under center goes Miles. The senior calls out the count, takes the snap, drops back, looks to his right, continues looking to his right, and a well-off throw and pass as that one intended for Bailey is going to march and land about 5 yards away from him at best, and it goes as an incompletion. And right now that's what I'm seeing with Miles. He has a good arm, but his accuracy right now has really been a struggle for him.
Well, he had to have anticipated that was an out at some point because the receiver was stumbling like he might have kind of lost his footing. But, yeah, that wasn't even in the area.
And you saw a couple of the times that's happened so far tonight, overthrowing and underthrowing some receivers. He'll come under center again with that offset wing tee. He's going to take the snap himself, pitches it out to the near side. Webb with some running room. Braxton cuts back to the middle. Nobody in front of him, and he trots into the end zone with a 27-yard touchdown scamper, and it's 19-0. The Cardinals go down by 3 scores now, and that was all on Webb. The Cardinals defense really did a good job of closing it around him, and he just found a seam.
Yeah, he did.
A quick runner, and it ends up getting him to 116 yards on the game with that 27-yard run to start off the second quarter. And the extra point team will come back out once again for the Hornets, and it will be Christian Kidd to try and send this one into the end zone. Braxton, with that touchdown, has his 2nd touchdown run of the game, and a offsides penalty is going to be called on the Soda Springs Cardinals. Jumping across was Dylan Farnes as he was deep into the backfield, and that is going to change the Declo Hornets' plans. They look to go for 2 here now as they'll send up the big hogs up front, and the offensive line will trot back out there to see if they can push the ball into the end zone, it looks like. And this is why 3 yards, not something a lot of teams want to go for it, but when you move it up to 1.5 yards away, a lot of teams have a chance, and they'll come back out in that wing tee. Miles under center. He'll fake the handoff. Now gives it around on a little bit of a reverse play and stumbling into the end zone. Hunter Olsen will get the 2-point conversion, and the Cardinals find themselves down 21-0 on the home of the Declo Hornets on KBRV 800 The Bear. Your home for Soda Springs football with live video streaming online at mylocalradio.com.
mylocalradio.com is Southwest Wyoming and Northeast Utah's top website and the best source for local area news, weather, sports, and community events. And that's not all. MyLocalRadio.com features thousands of photographs of Wyoming and Utah high school events, from speech and drama competitions to local events, sports and activities, and much more. Check it out today and see what MyLocalRadio.com has for you.
10:43 left to go here in the second quarter as the Cardinals will again look to return a kickoff from the Declo Hornets. Kickoffs brought to you by the 3C Grill and Grace, burgers, pizza, and barbecue. And don't forget they cater as well. It was a 27-yard run by Braxton Webb to put the Hornets up by 3 scores, and a 2-point conversion was good. To kick the ball off for the Hornets is going to be Tyler Matthews, as he has it teed up at the 40-yard line. Cardinals will have a pair of returners back, including Tanner Myers, who's returned the last 3. Run up is going to be a line drive kick that's going to be fielded by Myers at the 17. Runs over to the left side, cuts it back to the middle, recovers his footing after stumbling, and he's going to be taken down at the 41-yard line. A good return by Myers there, and every single time he's touched the ball in these returns, he's gotten a little bit further forward down the field.
Hopefully he'll break one of them. He runs hard on them.
Looks to be very close to breaking one on several of these occasions, but again, with 10:33 to go, the Cardinals offense needs to find their own rhythm, as they have struggled on their last 2 offensive possessions moving backwards. It'll be the pistol formation, 2 wide receivers to each side. Steele and Myers lined up to the near side of us. Adams throws a quick pass on a slant route over the middle of the field. The intended receiver looked to be, I believe,
is that Ridge?
Ridge Thompson. I believe you're correct on that one. On the far side, goes as an incomplete pass, making Adams 1 for 3 on the game for only 3 yards.
Seemed like a pretty accurate throw, because I think it hit him in the face mask after it went through his hands, didn't it?
There was a defender in front, so it could have been tipped on the way through as well.
Could have.
Adams in that pistol, takes a snap, rolls out to the near side. He's going to keep this one himself, has a hole, breaks across the 50, and is going to push his way forward to the 46-yard line. That's a gain of 14 yards for Devin Adams.
Boy, smart play here, and I think eventually he'll have that pitch as well. That pitch looked like if he'd have got it out there clean on the run, it would have been good too for that much, but better not to pitch it and risk the fumble.
Hornets playing a little bit of a soft defense there, and the Cardinals taking advantage, and a great read, as you said, by Adams, coming back into the middle of the field too for the run. 10:07 left to go. Clock winds as Adams in that pistol will take the snap. They'll run the same play. This is the pitch. The pitch outside of the hands of Stewart, who somehow holds on to the ball before getting blown up on the near sideline by Ezra Bailey twice. You got to be impressed with the fact that Stewart held on to that.
He's caught behind the line of scrimmage by Tyler Matthews.
Goes as a
no,
excuse
it's
me.
okay. I'm sorry. That didn't look quite like I thought was open before. I stuck my foot in my mouth there, hoping that was good. Maybe I jinxed us.
A tough play there, though. I think I think the Hornets were expecting the pitch once they saw the same play developing, though. And also the pitch not necessarily there. Stewart might have been able to gain yardage if it wasn't. Quick screenplay for the Cardinals. Pitched out to Stewart. He's going to pull this one in. But again, the defense right there and driving Stewart to the ground is Braxton Webb.
It just set up so well, but one player made the play. Gosh darn it.
And part of it might go down to the fact that the blockers in front, they didn't pick up that one man, and that's a huge mistake for them. And right now, Stewart is down on his hands and knees. He got pile driven into the grass by Braxton Webb on that tackle.
Coaches aren't too happy about that either. They felt like once that whistle was blown and the forward progress was stopped, that slamming him to the ground was way unnecessary.
And you definitely have a legitimate beef, as that play, the tackle ended up happening 12 yards back of where the initial hit took place, as there was no doubt that Andrew Stewart was going backwards at that point in time and was not going to get out of that tackle.
Yeah, that wasn't right by the refs to allow that.
8:43 to go. Clock continues to move down. 3rd down and 12 at the 49-yard line of the Declo Hornets. Cardinals with the ball, moving left to right. Snap goes to Adams. Drops back. Plenty of time to throw. Throws to the far sideline, and it goes through the hands of his receiver, Ridge Thompson, unable to pull that one in, and it drops to the turf.
Two Ridge usually will catch that didn't quite get them pulled in.
Brings up a 4th down and 12 now. Clock stops at 8:28 to go, and if you're the Cardinals, you got to punt it away here because you're too far towards the middle of the field, and you just can't afford to risk it on a long 4th down like this.
Coach Garber will play the numbers and do the smart thing here, I think.
Adams set to kick this one away. He stands with his heels at the 40-yard line of the Cardinals. Kicks one high in the air. That's a deep kick, fair caught, and it's going to be fair caught at the 20-yard line, and Braxton Webb never raised his hands, but the one man Keegan Duncan did, and Webb
still doesn't work.
I think, and Webb's looking back on like, wait, why'd you stop the play?
I didn't
But
do
as
it.
soon as the hand goes up by one of the players, you have to stop the play.
And then once he advances it, it becomes a penalty like that. I don't know what had happened if he caught it and just stood there, where the other kid signaled the fair catch, not the guy who caught it. But either way, once it's signaled, you can't advance it either way.
And I think that's what the officials
they're
are
not quite
talking
sure
over
what
right
to do,
now.
are they?
And it will be just marked at the 20-yard line. Either way, at least they got it right that it's not going to be a run up the field.
No, it isn't. But
So,
I'm not so sure that isn't a penalty, though, to advance the ball. I think they're talking to him about that right now.
as the chain gang not set yet either, and the officials go over, talk with the Cardinals as the defensive coach, Scott Gambles, for the Cardinals, had a word with the official. I think that's what he was just pointing out. He's been in this game a lot longer than even a lot of the officials do, but they'll leave the ball at the 20-yard line. Declo will take over, 3 running backs in the backfield as Miles comes under center. He'll hand it off to the near side. With the ball is going to be Webb. Braxton turns on the Jets again, has a first down before being pulled down at the 33-yard line. A 13-yard run, and Webb, again, just the speed he puts out there is incredible. Once he gets his legs underneath him and starts to extend that speed, he's tough to catch.
Well, I think it was Farnes that he stiff-armed there, and Farnes is a big, powerful kid, and he threw him right to the ground there. I apologize if it wasn't Farnes, but he sure had a good stiff arm there.
Ball moves up to the 34-yard line is where they'll officially mark him out of bounds. 8:10 to go, clock stopped. 2 wide receivers set for Miles. He drops back, looks over to his right, pump fakes, now puts another one over there. Great defense on the pass breakup. That, I believe, was Myers who ended up dropping the pass. No, excuse me, that's Ridge Thompson.
Good defense,
coming up.
though. Good defense.
Either way, there were 3 players right there. The Cardinals, a great read on the defensive side, and Thompson making up a little bit for the missed catch that he had last time when forcing an incompletion.
Yeah, he's going to not get his head hanging. He's going to stay in there and battle.
8 minutes, 4 seconds to go here. Second quarter, still 21-0. The Cardinals down to the Declo Hornets on the Gate City Real Estate scoreboard. Snap goes back to Miles, flips the ball out to the far side. Webb right there, avoids a tackle from Adams, now moves forward. Ball's fumbled onto the ground, but it luckily for the Hornets goes right into the hands of one of the Hornets wide receivers on the far side. And I believe Colin Carpenter, the man who had it just drop into his hands, a big break for the Hornets after the 6-yard run.
Gain of 8 yards, 3rd down.
And again, it's 135 yards now on the night for Braxton Webb, who continues to have a big night for this Declo Hornets team. And he was compared to Jim Brown by head coach Kelly Kidd. Maybe not that much, but he's definitely got the ability by the Declo Hornets. As a quick pass to the near side on a slant route is going to be completed, and reaching his way forward is Ezra Bailey with his third reception of the night. That goes up to the 49-yard line, and it's a gain of 13 yards on the play for the Hornets.
They definitely have a passing game. In that Orofino game, they threw at will wherever they wanted, and for a traditional run team, that's pretty impressive, the development of that passing game like they have.
And a lot of it helps when you get a quarterback like Miles back there that's confident, takes his time in the pocket, and makes his reads. He'll take another one. Great blocking up in front of him as well. You have to mention that as he bombs one deep just off the fingertips of Ezra Bailey, who had nobody in front of him at the 15-yard line. And once again, Calvin Miles just a little bit too far out of the reach of his receiver.
Just a little.
And that is keeping the Cardinals in this game, as every time they've tried to stretch the field, he just has not been able to get it into his receiver's hands, overthrowing it. But again, the big play is there right now if the Hornets can end up getting that link in, because the defensive back for the Cardinals are getting beat almost every time they try and run those deep routes.
He's definitely beyond him there.
And also the offensive line for this Declo team has been doing a very solid job blocking at the line of scrimmage. 6:48 to go, still moving right to left, ball at the 49-yard line, 2nd and 10. Snap goes again over to Miles. He'll come back near side, wide open is Duncan, cuts back to the far side or right side of the field. He's going to stay on his feet to the 35 before finally being driven down at the 36-yard line. A great job keeping his feet, and ends up moving that ball forward 15 yards.
Great job by the freshman there.
And the 15th pass of the game gives 99 yards passing in the game now to the Hornets. As you said, a traditional running team. And 8 completions on those 15 plays, so just over 50% is Calvin Miles. 5 wide receivers set, excuse me. Miles drops back, time to throw, throws one down the field. It's going to be picked off. The Cardinals reel that one in with Tanner Myers at the 15-yard line. An athletic jump, 2 Cardinals in the area, and Myers muscled his way up to get the ball and pulled it down, and the Cardinals defense comes up with a stop like we've been knowing them to do so far this season.
Oh, jeez.
And there is a flag on the play, it looks like, and the crowd is applauding it.
It was a roughing the passer.
And it's going to be a roughing the passer penalty, so the Cardinals will watch as the interception is erased. And it will move the ball 15 yards forward from the 36-yard line. It should put this ball at the 21-yard line of the Declo Hornets. A huge break for the Declo Hornets. It'll move the ball up to the 22-yard line is where they'll mark the ball. And the Cardinals pick up their 20th penalty yard of the night as Declo will run up to the line of scrimmage to snap another playoff with 6:17 to go. Another 5 wide receiver set. Miles in that shotgun. Reads the defense. Blitz is going to come for the Cardinals. Delayed blitz as they'll go back over. Another pick. Why not do it again? Cardinals will pull this one in. Coming up the near sideline before being driven out of bounds at the 25-yard line is Jared Johnson. Logan Mumford pulling in that one. As I misread the 50 for 51, the freshman comes up with a huge stop for the Cardinals, and it will give them better field position than they would have had on the initial interception.
Yeah, but I still hated that penalty. I mean, maybe it was even legal, but it just seems like whenever we put forth a little effort to get to the quarterback or a little extra effort to do this or that, it just, we get those flags. And I'm not saying they're not right. I'm just saying that they're sure just killing our momentum.
Cardinals offense takes over with 6:06 to go in the second quarter. 21-0 they trail on the Gate City Real Estate scoreboard. Adams in the pistol, and Tanner Myers moved, tried to sell it off as just going into motion to the near side, but the official was right on it, and you got to give Tanner Myers a little bit of credit for trying to play it off, but unfortunately a 5-yard penalty is again going to hurt the Soda Springs Cardinals. Moves it back to first down and 15, and when you look at it, that limits your play calling once again on this first down play to trying to gain back to where you were. 25 penalty yards for Soda in this game tonight. Good snap to Adams. He's going to take it himself, runs it up the gut. Nobody in front of him till the 28-yard line where he's rolled down to the hard surface of the grass by Gus Southern.
I'm going to beat a dead horse, I know, but that time the officials hurt us by just being in the way, because I think he makes an extra 5 yards there if that official can get out of the way there.
Does go as a gain of 12 yards. Regardless of that, 15 yards now on the game for Adams, who almost had a 100-yard rushing game last week, as he will march up to the line of scrimmage in that pistol formation once again. Looks to his left, now calls out the count, takes the snap. He's going to keep it himself, cuts back into the middle of the field, and is going to go nowhere, maybe a yard on the play.
Right up the middle.
Had a little bit of hesitation on what exactly he wanted to do with that play. Ends up holding on to it. And again, I think it was a better decision that he did hold on to it, as the pitch not necessarily there, and there was a player that was in the vicinity that could have batted it away and forced a fumble, but it does bring up a manageable 3rd down and 1 yard to go with the ball at the 33.5-yard line. Cardinals have shown the ability to run it up the gut, and that might be what they do this time, as Stewart has shown the ability to gain some yardage, and the line has been getting a decent push up front. Adams is going to come up under center. They'll fake that quarterback sneak, give it off to Stewart, who's stuffed at the 31-yard line by a pair of Declo Hornets, and I think that one doesn't go on Stewart. That's got to go on your receivers, who did not put a block onto the 2 defensive backs.
Absolutely, that was a very poor effort.
And especially on a pitch play out there, you can't leave your running back out to dry on a play like that, and unfortunately for the Cardinals, it's going to force another punt with 4th down and 3 yards to go. Coach Garbett yelling something to his team from the far sideline. 4:13 to go in the second quarter of play. Cardinals set to punt the ball away, left to right. One man back to return this one is going to be Braxton Webb. Good snap. Adams sends another high kick deep down the field. Webb signals the fair catch, drops down on it at the 35-yard line, and that is where Declo and the Hornets will take over after being stopped on their last drive by an interception. Technically twice they threw the ball away to the Soda Springs Cardinals, trying to stretch the field, and they will look to try and reverse that fortune. The Cardinals, though, the defensively on the ball, other than two big plays they've given up, have played very well.
Yeah, it's not bad, but it's still a 21-0 deficit, and there's not many ways to sugarcoat that.
3:56 on the big scoreboard, 21-0, as Ben just said. Gate City Real Estate scoreboard, as it will be Miles to take the snap. Drops back, plenty of time to throw. Again, comes back to the near side. It's going to be caught at the 48-yard line. A completion of 13 yards on the play to Hunter Olson from Calvin Miles. And with that,
it's another Hornet.
It's another Hornet first down here, and 116 yards, or excuse me, 111 yards passing for the Hornets on the night as they continue to hurt the Cardinals through the air as well as on the ground.
Yep, doing both to us.
And a two-sided attack that the Cardinals can't sit on one or the other. You have to start figuring out a way to shut down either the pass or the run and make them one-dimensional. As Miles takes the snap once again, blitz in his face, comes over the middle. It's another completion, juggling it, but pulling it in for a 6-yard gain is Hunter Olson once again. Back-to-back completions. And the Cardinals will watch as the Hornets will march up with a 2nd down and 4, moving right to left in Cardinals territory once again for the 5th time tonight. It'll be another pistol formation. Standing just to the right of Miles is Webb. 2 wide receivers split to each side. He'll take the handoff, give this one off to Webb, who's going to fall forward for maybe a half yard. He was wrapped up quickly on the play. It looked like getting it to him first on the line was Branson Steiner for the Cardinals. Good stop there, keeping Webb from getting his feet up from under him, and it brings up another 3rd down and 4 yards to go. They need the Hornet side of the 40-yard line to move the chains. 2:26 to go. Here's quarter number 2. Snap is a good one. Miles throws the ball to the near side, goes off his receiver's fingertips, and it brings up a 4th down and 4.5 yards after another incompletion forced by the Soda Springs defense. And if anything keeps similar, the Declo Hornets, once they get into the opposition's territory, go for it.
Yeah, can't blame them for doing that, I guess. The way their defense has been playing, though, a good punt here to try and pin us back could probably be a little bit wiser choice, I think. But they're aggressive, and they're going to go.
5 wide receivers, 4 spread up at the top of the formation. 1 down here to the near side as the snap is a good one to Miles. Looks to the near side. He's got his man. It's a deep pass. Caught and down at the 1-yard line. It's Ezra Bailey pulling the ball in, and it goes for a huge 44-yard completion to the 1-yard line. And I mentioned that was a play that was begging to be caught in and pulled in by the Hornets, and they finally were able to burn the Cardinals there. On the 20th pass play of the night, 161 yards now through the air for the Hornets, and 75 of those to Ezra Bailey. That stacked formation as Miles is going to take this ball up the gut for a 1-yard touchdown run, and after a 4th down job, the Hornets burn the Cardinals bad. 1:53 to go here, and it's a 27-0 lead for the Hornets over the Cardinals. All set up again by that missed 4th down opportunity by the Cardinals to get the Hornets off the field.
You know, teams that want to win consistently have got to make the best out of those situations and get them done.
It'll bring Christian Kidd out to attempt the extra point once again. Snap is a good one, holds good, and Kidd's kick is just over the uprights once again. So the PAT is good, and that makes the score 28-0. The Cardinals trailing by 4 scores to the Declo Hornets on KBRV 800 The Bear with live video streaming online at mylocalradio.com. We'll be back right after this.
MyLocalRadio.com is Southwest Wyoming and Northeast Utah's top website and the best source for local area news, weather, sports, and community events. And that's not all. MyLocalRadio.com features thousands of photographs of Wyoming and Utah high school events, from speech and drama competitions to local events, sports and activities, and much more. Check it out today and see what MyLocalRadio.com has for you.
Welcome back out to the home of the Declo Hornets. The Soda Springs Cardinals, not much to cheer about so far tonight, as the fans who have made the trip 2 hours to the west looking to try and get off their hands in the final 2 minutes here of the second quarter before going into halftime. The Cardinals trail 28-0 on the Gate City Real Estate scoreboard. And Ben, when you look at the Cardinals and what they've done so far, it hasn't been anything major. It's just been the lack of consistency their offense has shown.
Yep, just need to, like you said, just get consistent and execute. You know, you see them catching passes and putting them when they're hit in the hands, and we've missed a few so far. So
another great 3C Grill and Grace kickoff brought to you by them, Burgers, Pizza, and Barbecue, as that one is going to be fielded at the 30-yard line. Falling on it there is going to be Ridge Thompson. Again, that kickoff brought to you by the 3C Grill and Grace, Burgers, Pizza, and Barbecue. And don't forget, they cater as well. 1:52 to go. Ball will be at the 30-yard line for Soda Springs, so good starting field position with 70 yards to go. And we'll see if the Cardinals air it out here with short time on the clock.
Pretty good field position, but to pick that up and go upfield with it, I think he had some room to get some more yardage.
It'll be that twin receivers formation to each side of the formation for the Cardinals. Myers and Steele to the near side. On the far side, Thompson will look to come near side. It's Adams passing this one complete, and a first down for Tanner Myers to the 40-yard line. A good reception by Myers there, holding on to the ball, and it gets the Cardinals their first down of the drive, and their first time that they've gotten a first down on the first play from scrimmage. Longest passing play of the night as well for Soda Springs. It'll bring up a 1st and 10 from the 40, working left to right, and the clock winds to 1:40 to go. Cardinals break the huddle and will trot up to the line of scrimmage. And Adams will look to each side, checks the defense, takes the snap, fakes the handoff. Now will take this one himself, looks to run up the field, reverses field, avoids another couple of tackles, now cuts inside, fumbles the football. The ball squirts out of his hands and into the hands of the Declo Hornets, who recover it. Coming up with the football is Trey Ramsey, the 5'10", 140-pound junior defensive back. Another tough break for the Cardinals, as Adams did a great job of extending the play and gaining yards, and then just lost the handle on the football. And he is one of those quarterbacks who will carry when he runs the ball, carries the ball away from his body a lot.
Yeah, he hasn't been terribly prone to fumbles, though, and I don't know whether he got a hand punching in from behind there, but another example of things you just can't do when you're playing such a good team.
And it'll be a 5 wide receiver set for Declo, and the Hornets is up by 4 scores. They'll look to try and put a nail into the coffin here. Miles back to pass, plenty of time. Once again, airs it out to the far side, has a man, and it goes off of the fingertips of Braxton Webb on the far side. Great defense once again played by the Soda Springs Cardinals, and I think that again was Ridge Thompson, either that or Tanner Myers on that far side. I believe it's now Tanner Myers.
Yep. Excellent defense, though.
Great job. He was step for step with Braxton Webb, and again, with the speed that Braxton shows, that's not an easy thing to do.
Tanner's got a few jets himself, though.
Yes, and he has shown that so far this year. You mentioned him with the possibility of breaking the kickoff. It's not necessarily out of the realm of possibility. 1 minute and 11 seconds left to go. Ball at the 49-yard line of the Cardinals. 5 wide receivers set, 3 wide receivers to the near side on the far side hash mark. Ball set to Miles. He's going to take this one down. Throws one out on the run just off the fingertip as it falls incomplete down to the ground. Hunter Olson, the intended target there, but it goes as another incompletion on the 22nd pass play of the night for Calvin, as he has 11 completions on those 22. So again, sitting right around 50% completion rating.
He knew he had to get rid of it. Farnes was going to welcome him, introduce himself there in just a few more steps.
That pocket collapsed very quick. 4 wide receiver set this time as Miles drops back. Good protection once again from his offensive line. Finds a man. That's completed over the middle for a gain of about 5 yards. Coming up with it is Colin Carpenter, as that is his second reception of the game. Not a huge gain on the play, but it does make it a more manageable 4th down, as the Hornets will go for it here. 37 seconds to go. Halftime performance from the Declo marching band Declo dance team looks to be going to happen here tonight. 28 seconds clockwise, though we're not quite there yet. Cardinals down by 4 scores, trying to keep it right there as Miles takes the snap. 5 yards to go. They're going to throw a little bubble to the near side. Pulling the ball in is Ezra Bailey, who falls forward to the 24-yard line, a 20-yard gain. And with 15 seconds left, it looks like a timeout is going to be called possibly by the Hornets. Yes, they will, to talk things over and save themselves a bit of time after yet another completion on the play, as they continue to have good fortune. And right now, Ezra Bailey to 95 yards on the night on 5 receptions. He has really been able to torch the Cardinals on this near side. He seems to be their best stretch receiver and has fairly good hands for a receiver as well, as we've seen him pulling a pass that was tipped and also one near the goal line.
Well, and you also notice that I think the guy that missed him up front was Chris Lloyd, and Chris Lloyd is a very consistent tackler usually, so that just shows you speed and shiftiness, and we've been sliding around in front of them as they're cutting upfield, keeping their footing, so they're very, very athletic.
I did like what the Cardinals did there on defense. That was heads-up awareness by them not to play too tight to the receivers, as right now you know the Declo Hornets don't have a great kicking game.
Correct.
And so giving up the touchdown is your biggest concern, so have people back.
Yeah, and so far, what do you think of this Declo team? I'm pretty impressed. They might even be a hair better than Westside.
I think they are. I mean, this is a team right now that I think with this quarterback and the fact that they're a dual threat team is definitely a contender for the state championship this year. As coming to the near side, Miles will have the ball at the near side hash mark. 3 wide receivers spread to the right side of the field, 2 down near to us. Miles calls out the snap count, gets a good snap. Blitz comes from the Cardinals. 6-man blitz. He's going to throw the ball to the near side as Calvin Miles wanted a roughing the passer penalty as he hit the dirt, but no flag comes out from the officials and the pass drops incomplete on his 25th attempt of the night. So they've actually been throwing the ball up quite a bit. In fact, they've only rushed the ball 17 times compared to throwing it 25. So again, for a team that normally loves to run the ball, they haven't really done that much. 11 seconds to go, second quarter. Cardinals down by 4 scores, trying to keep it right there. Miles again stands at the 30, takes the snap, drops back, good protection around him, throws him for the end zone. That's almost picked off by Morgan Steele in the end zone, dropped just out of his reach, and it ends up coming up as another incompletion on the 26th attempt.
Boy, when I saw him and both, I think it was the safety there, my teeth clenched up. I thought he was going to get hit. The last thing Morgan needs is smacked on a crossing route like that. That made me pretty nervous.
But you know he's a competitive kid who's always going to be going for the ball, and he does have a nose for the ball on that defensive end. 6 seconds to go, possibly the last play of the half coming right now as Miles takes the snap. 5 wide receivers as he drops back, looking towards the end zone. He's hit as he throws. Ball's going to be caught in the end zone, pulling it in. Braxton Webb, great defense again by the Cardinals, but Webb just out-jumped the defender on the far side, and I'm not sure who that was, but again, I think it might have been either Grant Clegg or either that or it was, as I blank on the name, Ridge Thompson. But either way, just a phenomenal reception on that play. A 24-yard touchdown pass as the clocks hit 0 to end the half with it 34-0 and an extra point pending from Kidd. Await the snap as the Cardinals will jump off sides. The kick is not going to come until after the penalty. And again, right now, the Cardinals defense, you can't say they've played bad. They've just been a step or an inch or a tipped ball away from stopping a lot of these defensive plays.
There's no excuse for that, though. They've seen that 4 times now, that they come up to the line, they throw their hand down to try and draw you off sides, and we're still jumping on it.
Another chance here, as the snap is a good one. Kidd's hold is good, and the kick is up from Kidd. That's good as well, and we head to the half. 35-0, the Cardinals trailing Declo and the Hornets. The offense has been shut out. We'll come back with our halftime show here in the halftime highlights, brought to you by London Drug and Grace. Locally owned, locally operated, and locally loved. They're your local Good Neighbor Pharmacy. Back after this on KBRV 800 The Bear with live video streaming online at mylocalradio.com.
How'd I do?
You'll get better. Tim can't wait to be a real driver. But for now, he's king of the online track thanks to Silver Star Communications high-speed internet. Reliable, consistent speeds give him the edge against players anywhere, even the other end of the couch.
Whoa. You'll get better.
Visit silverstar.com to learn more.
Hi, this is John Ondrasik of Five for Fighting, here for RAD, the entertainment industry's voice for road safety. You know, style is a personal thing, and your lifestyle is your business. But if you take it on the road, it becomes everybody's business. So please, plan ahead, designate before you celebrate. Friends, don't let friends drive drunk.
A public service announcement brought to you by RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
They need your help. They're overstocked with Lazy Boy and Catnapper recliners, sofas, and love seats. They'll wheel and deal right now at Sanders Furniture, Flooring, and Appliance. If you will help them make room in their showroom, they'll help you keep money in your bank account while you're enjoying high-quality, comfortable Lazy Boy and Catnapper recliners, sofas, and love seats. They need your help, and you need to save money. Wheel and deal right now at Sanders Furniture, Flooring, and Appliances on Main Street in Soda Springs.
So when you get to the corner of Smith and Orchard, you're going to want to take a left.
You are not going to
Then what you're
believe
going to
this.
do is turn onto Marcy
and Red
Avenue.
just broke up,
and go past
and
the first
apparently
3
she's
lights,
happy
and then
about
take
it.
the next left.
I don't really
Then
think
drive 5
she's
more
happy,
blocks,
but
and you should be
who
there.
am I to judge, right?
Park on the
Anyway,
right.
That's
I'll
what
see
I
you
heard
later
last
tonight.
night.
It's hard to concentrate on 2 things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Welcome back out to the home of the Declo Hornets. The Declo Dancers out on the field right now with a score of 35-0. The Hornets on top as they put up 22 points in the second quarter to pull ahead by 5 scores over the Soda Springs Cardinals. Let's take a look at how they got there. Brought to you by London Drug and Grace, locally owned, locally operated, and locally loved. Your local Good Neighbor Pharmacy. The first 2 drives for the Declo Hornets resulted in scores. A 10-yard run by Braxton Webb got them up 7-0, and then a 5-yard run by Calvin Miles on a broken play pushed the ball into the end zone to make it 13-0. The Cardinals still, though, had been playing fairly good defense and had been able to force a couple of 4th downs for the Declo Hornets, and were only down by 2 scores going into the second quarter of play. After that, though, Declo really started to put the hammer down. They scored on a 27-yard touchdown run by Braxton Webb to the near side as he burst into the end zone to put them up 21-0 after a 2-point conversion by a run from Hunter Olsen into the end zone that he went in almost untouched on a little bit of a reverse play to the running back on the near side. After that, it was a 1-yard run by Calvin Miles on the next one. It was set up by a 60-yard passing play, a 44-yard passing play down the near sideline that was hauled in by Ezra Bailey. Bailey would score again later on in the night, but that put the Declo Hornets up 28-0 after the massive run back on that one. It would be one more chance for the Hornets to score a 24-yard pass from Calvin Miles into the hands of Olsen, and that would put it up to 35-0 after another PAT was good. Overall on the night, 13 for 26 from the Declo Hornets in passing for 186 yards and a touchdown. 1 interception as well that was pulled in by the Soda Springs Cardinals, and I believe on the interception it was Tanner Myers who pulled in that pick At least he pulled in the first one. I believe he pulled in the second interception as well.
Sorry, not to interrupt you. It was the freshman, remember?
Exactly,
Logan
you're right.
Mumford.
It was Logan
Tanner
Mumford.
had the first one, like you said, and then Logan Mumford had the second one.
Thank you for correcting me on that. I would hate to give credit to the wrong person. So the freshman, Logan Mumford.
No big deal. He doesn't get a lot of playing time on varsity, so.
When you get 2 interceptions in the same and back-to-back, too, it's tough sometimes to keep track of who it was. But Mumford, again, got the interception. The Cardinals, though, turned the ball over after that and ended up fumbling it away to the Declo Hornets after trying to gain a couple of yards on their own right, and it ended up, as we said, to that 35-0 score right now. The Cardinals on their side, 12 rushes for 43 yards, 3 for 6 passing for 13 yards, but really just not a lot of offense at this point in time. And Ben, when you look at that, what do the Cardinals need to do offensively to get that clicking? Defense, again, they've been extremely close to being there in the right spot at the right time. So defense, I don't know if you can play much better than you have. What's the offensive key?
Well, the offense has to help out the defense by moving the ball. And maybe you just try and where they're spread out, just try and run up the middle and try and average 3 yards a play and not get fancy and try and establish some long clock burning movement of the football.
And that's the other thing that Soda Springs has to do is they do get the ball to start out the second half. They did defer to that. So there is a chance for them to come out and get back into this game, get a little bit of confidence if they can just start doing that. And we've talked about the consistency issues, but I think one of the bigger thing is players not taking plays off, because that seems to be one of the problems that they've had, especially with wide receivers on the outside. We've seen a couple of times where a play might have been broken big, where the receivers just really didn't do much to block. And when they do block, we saw Tanner Myers on the second play of the game bust out a 29-yard run. That was because wide receivers blocking down the field.
Well, and they're consistently doing a better job of engaging and doing that and staying with their guy. It's pretty hard when the guy in front of you is faster and maybe a little bigger. And, I noticed a lot of these Declo kids, when they were coming out, they've been in the weight room all summer. The JV, too, was in good shape. And we got to just be more physical and move our feet and just battle there.
And we talked about this throughout the season, too. The Cardinals, that's one of the areas that they didn't really work on a lot during the offseason, during the summer, is you didn't have a lot of kids in that weight room. And that's going to be something that I'm sure you're going to see a couple of changes coming around for the Soda Springs team during the next offseason, where coaches are going to be a little bit more active in getting them in.
Well, you have to compete in football, because other teams will. There'll be other teams that'll lift all summer, and it's got to be done to have a good, strong program.
We'll take a quick break, and right now we're going to jump into our standout student interview, as I was able to sit down and talk with a wonderful junior at Soda Springs High School, as we'll talk with her right now.
Kayla Bergraff here with Jonna Hotchkiss, our standout student for this week. And Jonna, you're a junior here at Soda Springs High School. And how's your junior year been going so far?
It's actually been really good so far. My classes have been really fun this semester, and I don't know, I really like being here.
What are some of your classes that you're taking this year?
I think my favorite classes that I'm taking are probably zoology, choir, and musical.
So those kind of tie in with what you're wanting to go to college for. You were just talking about that a little bit before this. What drew you into zoology, into biology and stuff like that?
I don't really know. When I was little, my mom and I just were talking, and she mentioned marine biology, and I thought it sounded really cool as a kid. And as I got older, I learned a lot more about it, and I just decided that it looked like a lot of fun. And I don't know, it just seems really cool.
What about the theater side and the musical side of things? Is that something that you've always liked too, or did you see a certain movie that got you into it, or a play or something?
Actually, no. I never thought I would like acting, but I actually moved here my freshman year, and the old schools I've been to never did school plays or anything. So I thought, oh yeah, okay, I'll try it. And so my first year that I came here, I was in the school musical, and it was just so much fun, and I love it. I've liked it ever since, really.
It's always fun to find something that you're really passionate about, especially once you get to high school. What about teachers? Are any of your teachers from those two classes your favorite teachers, or do you have another teacher who really stands out as like, if I have a chance to take him or her, I'm going to be in that class?
I think my favorite teacher outside of that is probably Mrs. Pankow and her English classes, just because she's a lot of fun, and she teaches English in a way that's really interesting.
If you had tips for underclassmen for what to look for in a teacher and how to to get on a teacher's good side at high school here, what are some of the things that you would tell them?
It really depends on the teacher. Like, some of them like it when you talk a lot in class and joke around with them, but some of them just kind of prefer that you're quiet and just do your work.
Kayla Burgraff here with Shauna Hotchkiss, our standout student, and your senior year is coming up. Are you excited for your senior year?
Yes and no. Yes, because I get to graduate, and then no, because I have to graduate and be an adult. I don't think I'm ready.
You were talking about wanting to go into either marine biology or into theater in college. Have you given thought to what college you would want to go to, where you'd want to go study?
If I did choose marine biology, I definitely want to go more towards the coast. Other than that, though, just really anywhere that seems like a good school.
Now, you said you just moved here in your freshman year of high school. What's kind of the thing that you like most about Soda Springs? What do you enjoy most about this town?
I actually like that it's a lot smaller because everyone seems a lot closer, and it's really easy to get to know everyone in the school rather than there being like 1,000 students that you never even meet. But everyone's just really friendly because there aren't new people a lot, and so it's just really kind of welcoming.
Final thing for you, and that's when you talk about that, the Soda Springs, it is a small school. What's your favorite thing about being a Soda Springs Cardinal?
I really just like this school. I mean, it's really nice, and with the smaller classes, you get a lot of one-on-one time with teachers, and it's just, I feel like it's more relaxed, and everyone's just more open and friendly about everything.
Well, Jonna, thank you so much again for taking the time to talk with us, and good luck to you the rest of your junior year and your senior year, and hopefully you can move into one of those majors.
Yeah, I hope so. That'd be fun.
K-Slot fever is continuing at Lalaton's in Soda Springs the week of October 8th through the 14th. Drop into Lalaton's and grab yourself canned vegetables, a case of 24 for $12. Or grab Western Family cans of soup, 24 cans for $12 as well. Make sure you don't miss out on their water, as they have 24 packs of Western Family half-liter bottles, $1.99 each. Or if you're looking for peanut butter, grab yourself a 64-ounce creamy or chunky peanut butter for $6.49. It's all at Lalaton's in Soda Springs.
I'm Paul George of the Indiana Pacers. When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke. So I want you to learn to spot a stroke fast. F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. I'm Paul George. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
There's an organization in southeast Idaho whose wildlife conservation efforts have been commended by the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, the Idaho Fish and Wildlife Foundation, and the North American Moose Foundation. Who is this organization? It's Monsanto. While Monsanto is honored by the recognition they receive, their ongoing dedication to the environment is its own reward for all of us. Monsanto. Imagine.
Welcome back out to the home of the Declo Hornets, where right now the score at halftime 35-0 as we get set for the second half of action. The Soda Springs Cardinals looking to try and find a way to get back into this game. And Ben, you and I were just talking about it during that break there. The Cardinals right now at this point in time, the defense has been there. They've played strong, but it's just been a little itty-bitty things that the Hornets have done better, or the Hornets have gotten some lucky breaks where tip passes have dropped right into the receiver's hands, fumbles have fallen right back into their own players' hands as well. They've had a botched kickoff that ended up or a punt return that ended up getting into their hands. They had a fumble that rolled literally right into one of their players 5 yards upfield.
Yeah,
it's just been little things like that for the defense.
Well, and maybe saying that they're getting lucky is a little bit over is the wrong word, but they're making the little things happen better than we're able to do right now. But if we could turn those little things into our favor, it would be a pretty significant difference in this ball game for sure.
And right now in this second half, the game is out of reach at this point in time if you're the Cardinals, the way Declo keeps playing. If they keep playing at this level.
They will.
But
they will.
You have Bear Lake next week for Soda Springs. That is a winnable game for Soda Springs on the road, and that's what you build for
now. Come away healthy. You got to come away understanding what you did and battle hard here. I would love to see us finish strong, though, keep our heads up, play hard. That was the silver lining on the cloud in the JV game. Just a horrible 62-6 ball game there, as maybe you was able to catch the end of that for the listeners and viewers. But they were driving at the end of there, and they never truly gave up, I felt.
And that's the one thing about this Cardinals team. They're smaller than a lot of teams they play. They don't have as many people on the sidelines. They're talking about it playing 13 or 14 kids each game, usually getting into the varsity game until late. This is a team that never gives up, as it is time to get the second half underway. The kickoffs brought to you by the 3C Grill and Grace. Burgers, pizza, and barbecue. And don't forget they cater. Skylar Judd, who's also the Grace Cross Country coach, does a great job with his restaurant down there. 35-0, and set to kick it off is once again going to be Tyler Matthews. It's a bouncing kick that's going to be fielded at the 21-yard line by the sure-handed Tanner Myers, who falls forward to the 35. And again, gaining those extra little yards. Myers has been another bright spot for this Soda Springs team on his kick returns.
I just got an update from my brother, just because it might make a difference as to who we play in the playoffs, but it's West Jefferson is ahead of Firth 22-20. If we happen to be able to get Bear Lake next week, going to that 3 seed, be West J if they hold on.
And again, that is a huge game over there. If right now Declo leading this district, but West J and Firth in that battle over there. 11:54 to go. Just started underway in the second half of play. Handoff goes to Tanner Myers around the left edge. He's got a little bit of a seam and bulldozed down at the 39-yard line, but a good 4-yard gain on the second carry of the game for Tanner Myers. And Myers, only 2 carries right now. That's a little bit of a surprise to me, as he's had good success normally this season when he's carried the football. 11:30 to go. Clock will wind. Ball over to the far side hash mark. The Cardinals moving from left to right from their own 39-yard line. Adams stands under the pistol formation with Stewart standing behind him. He'll hand the ball off to Stewart. No, they're going to actually give this one off to the wide receiver on the outside. I believe that's Ridge Thompson coming from that edge, as it's the same play coming around the other direction, and Thompson is going to gain a yard on the play.
He did a good job, though, to gain a yard, because they definitely were sitting back there waiting to catch him there on that one.
And that's one where, as a decision, if you're Adams, it might make more sense on that one to give the handoff over to Stewart, who, if he had gotten the ball, the defense, as you said, was waiting for that reverse to come back the other way. 10:42 to go. Clock continues to wind. Ball at the 40-yard line. 3rd and 5 yards to go. Adams, good snap. It's going to be a screen play to the near side. Stewart takes the ball and had a seam for a moment, but it's going to be wrapped up on the screen by Cy Osterhout. And that was just great play by Cy Osterhout to close the distance and make sure that the opening that was there closed up quickly.
That cockeyed team speed is there for them. They really rallied to the ball well there.
And that has really been something that we've seen so far. 7 passes now for Adams. He's completed 4 of them for 15 yards. And the Cardinals, with 4th down and 4 to go, will punt the ball away from the 42-yard line with 10 minutes to go. A 2-minute drive for Soda Springs is going to culminate in a 3-and-out. Snap is a good one to Adams. Plenty of time. He's going to kick this one deep. Picked up by Braxton Webb. He's got room to run. Comes over to the left sideline and is going to hurdle a man before being taken down at the 35-yard line. A return of about 8 yards on the play, and slow to come up on that play as he was going for the hit and then got completely hurdled was Hunter Bybee. And I think that was just one where he was sitting there. It might have knocked him out not knocked him out, but might have just rattled him for a moment after missing the tackle.
Kicked in the head or something, or not sure what really.
He looks fine on the field right now, though, so it's just a little bit slow getting up, not to cause concern for anyone tuning in right now. 9:43 to go. 4 wide receivers set for Declo and the Hornets. In the shotgun with 1 running back behind him is Miles. He'll drop back to pass. Looks to his right. Fakes the pass a couple times. Now he goes down. A 10-yard loss. They drop him down at the 25-yard line. And the defense for the Cardinals did a great job by the defensive backs in their coverage out deep in the field, and allowed the coverage, or the defensive line, to get to the quarterback.
I wish I could have zoomed out real quick and caught everything for the listeners there, because the receivers were completely covered up, and that was a good push by the defensive line there.
When you hear somebody talk about a coverage sack, that's exactly what they're talking about on that play, as it brings up a 2nd down and 20. Quick screen, bubble screen out to the far side. Duncan is the intended receiver, and it's going to be a forward pass. It was thought to be a fumble for a moment there, but it ends up having it blown dead. 3rd down and 20. And the Declo Hornets will look to try and go deep. But again, this is where the Cardinals have struggled, is keeping the Hornets from getting these big conversions.
It's a big third down. We've had them in a couple of times, and they've either gotten 3/4 of it or enough that they're willing to go for it. If you even keep them to 10 yards here, I think they'd be inclined to punt.
Keep your eyes to the bottom of the screen with Ezra Bailey. For those of you tuning in on the near sideline, working right to left are the Hornets. Miles in that pistol. He'll take the snap, drops back, looks this way automatically. It's going to be a hitch and go route, and it is to Bailey. The pass is deep, and it goes out of bounds. Bailey reaching for it, and right now the Cardinals obviously seeing that matchup. We're covering him with two different defensive players as Tanner Myers and Christopher Lloyd were on the near sideline. And again, just good defense by the Cardinals, but a poor throw on the pass.
Well, the quarterback telegraphed where he was going there. In fact, I even, if anybody's watching at home, I got off the quarterback before the throw because I could tell he was staring at him the whole time. I saw that second move here, and I got a little antsy because I knew it was coming here and kind of moved the camera halfway down the field on people.
And that's also where Tanner Myers, give him credit too, from a safety position, came over to help. He saw it telegraphed as well, as it'll be a punt coming up here. And Bailey's punt is going to be blocked at the line of scrimmage. It rolls to the 45-yard line before it goes out of bounds. And the Cardinals will start off with phenomenal field position on their second drive of the third quarter and the second half, starting at the 45-yard line, and they'll actually mark it at the 43-yard line of the Declo Hornets.
I'm pretty sure that was a good effort, wasn't it, on a Cardinal to get the hand on that?
It was, and especially on a rugby-style punt where most of the blitzers are going to be coming straight up the guts to end up moving around to the far side. I missed the number, but it was one of the flankers that was able to get there and get a fingertip on it.
It might have been Andrew or Ridge on that, someone out on that edge.
8:42 to go, third quarter play. Cardinals with the ball at the 43-yard line of the Hornets. Good snap to Adams, looks to the near side. It's going to be a bubble screen, and getting blown up is Myers, and he heard the footsteps coming from Ezra Bailey and dropped the pass. It goes as an incomplete pass, and the Cardinals gets the same break that Declo caught on that bubble screen, with it not being called a backwards pass. Not that either one was close, but they do end up getting the benefit of the doubt from the officials. 8:36 to go now. Cardinals with a 2nd down and 10 facing them. And the Hornets right now, again, they've been consistent on offense and the same thing on defense, just not giving up anything major. See what the Cardinals can do here is it'll be Adams in that pistol formation. Defensive line jumps around a little bit, trying to spook him a bit as the blitz comes from the backside, and blowing up is going to be Adams. The ball is picked off by Tyler Matthews, and he is going to rumble 55 yards for a touchdown, and Adams comes up gimpy. Devin Adams got blindsided from the backside. Colin Carpenter with a blindside hit. That was just a great job on the blitz. You saw it on the play before. In fact, nobody picked him up on the last play, and nobody picked him up on this play, and it ends up being a 55-yard interception return for a touchdown to make it 41-0.
Well, sometimes on a rollout this way, you shouldn't have to worry about the backside defensive end, but in that case, I guess you better.
And the play could not have come at a worse time. Cardinals had a bit of momentum. It gets ended right there, and a PAT attempt coming up from Christian Kidd. Snap is good, hold is good. Kidd's kick is up and good as well. And the score goes to 42-0. The Cardinals trailing the Hornets of Declo here on the road with 8:23 left to go in the third quarter. Player on KBRV 800 The Bear with live video streaming online at mylocalradio.com.
Cattlemen have a code of ethics. Live each day with courage. Take pride in your work. Always finish what you start. Do what has to be done. Be tough but fair. When you make a promise, keep it. Ride for the brand. Talk less and say more. Remember that some things aren't for sale, and know where to draw the line. The folks at Mound Valley Cattle Company in Thatcher, Idaho are proud of the students at Grace High School, investing in the leaders of tomorrow. The Mound Valley Cattle Company, 208-339-0614.
Welcome back out to the home of the Declo Hornets. A struggle for the Cardinals gets a little bit worse as the defense for the Declo Hornets puts 7 points up onto the board. It is now 42-0 on the Gate City Real Estate scoreboard. For those of you listening on KBRV 800 The Bear and watching online at mylocalradio.com, If you haven't checked out the video stream right now, I encourage you to do so, as it is a great way for you to keep in track of what's going on with the kids. You can pull it up on your TV if you hook your computer up to it and sit down and enjoy it with the family, just like you're watching any other type of football game from the NFL or college on Sundays and Saturdays. It'll be another kickoff coming from the Hornets, a squib kick that's going to be fielded by Stewart, who is blown up himself, jumping over him. Braxton Webb able to roll him to the ground at the 37-yard line, and that's where the Cardinals will take over after the 3C Grill and Grace kickoff. Burgers, pizza, and barbecue. It's all at the 3C Grill and Grace, and don't forget they cater as well. And 8:19 to go, the Cardinals offense back out onto the field. See what Coach Cliff Garbett has lined up for his team here. As again, they come out in their traditional 4 wide receiver set, 2 to each side with twins set up, and it's going to be that reverse play once again. Myers has the corner, gets around the 40 and rolls and falls forward to the 46-yard line. A good gain of 8 yards there by Myers on the rush to the 46.
8 yards on the play. Second down and 2.
And Myers up to 41 yards rushing now for the Cardinals. He has the majority of the rushing yards on the night for them. In fact, out of the 56 yards, only 15 other yards have come from any other player.
Ridge Thompson was a little shook up on that, but I want to give him props. That was a good block there to seal his guy and get that opportunity to Myers there.
And it's good to, we've been hitting them hard, so good to bring up the fact when they do block hard, this team looks very good. But again, consistency in those blocks is what this team is missing. 7:29, clock continues to roll, second down and 2 yards to go. High snap to Adams, gives the handoff. No, he keeps it himself. Everybody collapsed in the backfield around Farnes, and coming up to the 49-yard line with a first down run for 5 yards is Devin Adams, his 8th carry of the night, and he's got 21 yards now. Does have the fumble, but he moves the ball into Hornets territory for only the 3rd time tonight for Soda Springs.
Yeah, that was a nice job. I mean, the high snap actually almost led to that fake, because once Declo saw that high snap and the struggle, they thought, oh, he's still trying to hand it off, and that gave him the opportunity to go ahead and sell that, pull it, and make some good yardage.
And there is that move out there. Farnes still in the backfield. Another high snap. This time they hand it off to Farnes, who hits the hole hard, is able to get up forward a yard, but he's met quickly by the defensive lineman, number 78, a big body, and Juan Juarez, a huge man that was able to just stop Farnes in his tracks.
Yeah, he didn't go far after he hit that. All his momentum was absorbed by 300 and some pounds, a tough young man there. It didn't even move him backwards. It was just like he hit a truck.
They talk about Mack truck holes. That was a Mack truck hit coming from Declo and the Hornets. 6:22 to go, as Adams again in that pistol formation runs up under center. He's going to take the snap. Ball squirts loose. He picks it up. 3 different Hornets tracking him down, and he throws the ball forward on a shuffle pass, and it'll go as an incomplete pass. There was a receiver in the area, as I believe Myers was in the general vicinity, and the Cardinals are going to catch a break by a heads-up play by Devin Adams just to get it out and find anybody downfield.
Very big play there by Devin Adams. That I thought we were going to have a 10-yard loss or 15-yard loss there, and that'll give us at least a chance to convert here. And honestly, now we're across the 50-yard line. I think you get 3 or 4 yards here. I think you're to a point in the game that what have you got to lose? The 42, the 52, whatever numbers on the scoreboard doesn't mean anything unless you can get rid of that 0.
3rd down and 9 yards to go. Adams, another high snap, 3 of them in a row, and he's masked under at the 46-yard line, and that eliminates what you were just talking about with 14 yards, 15 yards to go after the 6-yard loss on the, and again, that goes to the high snap. 3 straight high snaps. It worked out once, but the next 2 times just not something that you can take whenever they're in that pistol formation.
Yep.
Ends up dropping Adams back underneath 20 yards. He's got 16 yards on the game on the ground. And another punt coming up for Adams. The thing is for the Cardinals now with this, though, it might be another time to try out one of those fake punts. Again, as you were saying, what do you have to lose?
That's true.
35-yard line. Adams takes a snap, and it is going to be a punt. High kick, very short kick. Drops and hits at the 40-yard line and rolls to the far sideline and out of bounds. just inside the 39-yard line. And the Cardinals defense will head back out on the field after a net punt of 15 yards. There is a flag on the play. It is a dead ball foul against Declo and the Hornets. So it'll move it back from the 39 back to the 24-yard line. And the Cardinals will look to take advantage of the 20th penalty yard that the Hornets have matched up. And both teams in the second half, with 5:03 to go in the second half, have both done very well as far as the penalties are concerned. That's the first penalty of this half.
Well, that was very cheap. Him and Hunter were doing a little pushing, but Hunter turned to the way the ball was going, and he just completely hit him in the back with the ref watching that all the way. I think I got that for the viewers at home as well on that.
5:03 to go. 42-0 on the Gate City Real Estate scoreboard, but the Soda Springs defense has been able to stand strong. They forced a punt the last time they were out on the field, and if it had not been for a interception return for a touchdown, they would have kept the Declo Hornets scoreless to this point. It'll be Miles alone in the shotgun, 5 wide receivers. Cardinals adjust in their defensive backfield. It's going to be a quick flip out to the near side. A good reception on the near side by Keegan Duncan, who's taken down at the 37-yard line. It goes as a gain of 12 yards on the completion. And 27 yards now on the night for Duncan. 198 yards through the air for the Declo Hornets overall, with Calvin Miles as their quarterback. And you got to think fourth quarter, he's probably going to get to sit down and take a break with the score where it's at right now. Miles again in that shotgun all alone as the Hornets looking to move the ball down the field quickly against the Cardinals. They'll stretch the field again, and the ball goes through the hands of a wide open receiver. Braxton Webb had nobody around him as Miles and I believe Myers almost looked like they pulled up their defensive coverage, and Webb just ran right through him.
That's number 3. I don't know how we let him get away from us, but a minute ago we're sitting back in deep coverage, and they throw underneath us, and we have to come up 10, 15 yards, and they still get a 12-yard gain. And on that one, we get a guy behind us all of a sudden.
And that is Justin Morrison, number 3, as the man who got beat alongside of Morgan Steele. And Morgan coming back, you can give him a little bit of a benefit of the doubt on that with how long he's been out of the game. But you have to be there if you're the Cardinals and continue running with your man until you hear that whistle blow. A penalty on the Cardinals is going to be a personal foul penalty, and it will result in a first down. So despite the incomplete pass, the roughing the passer penalty, I believe, is the end call, and it goes as a ball moving up to the 48-yard line of Soda Springs.
Well, I'm not sure if that was a roughing the passer. You might be absolutely right, but they didn't signal, with the hand going down like they sometimes will. But all the same, it was some kind of something they didn't like.
Another 5 wide receiver set for the Declo Hornets. Miles drops back, hits Bailey over the middle. He's got room to run, cuts to the outside, hurdles a man at the 30-yard line before being taken down at the 24. And another big reception of 30 yards this time, and more flags fly. Excuse me, that is a 25-yard completion before the flags come out after the play.
Did you see anything there?
I did not see anything there. It might be something on a late or a clipping play or something like that would be my guess, if anything, on Soda Springs. As the officials convene, we'll wait for the signal to come from the white hat on the far sideline. They'll march between the two teams, and it does look to be against Declo and the Hornets. That looks to be the initial signal. It's a block in the back, and that is going to move the Hornets after the catch. It will still be a first down and a 25-yard reception, but a 10-yard penalty is going to knock them back, and it ends up being a net gain of 15 yards on that pass.
Does still result in the first down.
120 yards now on the night for Ezra Bailey. And 223 yards passing now for the Hornets. 4:18 to go, third quarter. It'll be Miles again in the shotgun, standing at the 40-yard line behind his line at the 35. Good snap to him. Nobody covers the blitz. He has to roll out to his right and quickly throws the ball away, but finds a man who's over the middle of the field, avoiding one tackle, and the ball comes loose as onto the ground. The Cardinals recover it. Dylan Farnes jumps onto it. Forcing the fumble was Tanner Myers on the near side as he took down Hunter Olson after Olson had run forward for a gain of 30 yards.
I think the receiver had two hands on the ball, and as he comes over to make the tackle, he pulled the one off, and it just left the other one pitching the ball forward. But nonetheless, a good finish tackle and good pursuit by the defense was rewarded there.
Cardinals defense stands strong once again, and this is a building spot for this team for next year, as when you have a defense like this, you never know how good you can be in years to come. 3:58 to go, 42-0. Cardinals down on the Gate City Real Estate scoreboard, 1st down and 10 from the 6-yard line. They'll sprint a new man back out onto the field as Chris Lloyd will take his spot on the field. Myers in the pistol standing behind Adams. As Adams runs up under center, they'll pitch the ball out to Myers, who's going to gum up the gut and is taken forward to the 11-yard line. I believe that's Myers. It could be Farnes as well. And it is Myers
right.
out there.
It is, yep.
I wanted to make sure I had the correct name. Myers ends up getting yet another good rush, and you'll take 5 yards at a time by a coach anytime you can. And right now on 4 carries, Myers with 46 yards tonight. Good blocking by the Cardinals on that as well to open a hole.
Well, if you notice, when we run up to the line of scrimmage like that, they're still looking, they've had film that looks directly at that sneak.
And this time it's going to be Adams doing that sneak up the gut, and Declo ready for it once again, guessing on the sneak. Goes for a gain, though, of 4 yards as they're able to push it ahead to the 15-yard line. Or excuse me, a gain of 1 as they gave a little bit more, a good beneficial spot to Myers on the last one.
Well, that's just a check on the defense, though. You do that because they've seen that pitch is all from us so far. So actually that's the play that keeps them honest and makes that pitch work.
And you're still at 3rd down and 2 yards to go, so not a bad time to call that one. And give yourself a chance. Backed up against your own end zone. The Cardinals moving the ball well. 3rd down, 2 yards to go at the 15-yard line. Again, it's going to be Adams under center. They'll pitch the ball to the near side. Farnes has pursuit behind him. Cuts up the middle. He's got a seam. He's got the sideline. One man to beat coming down the sideline, and he's going to beat him. Maybe if he doesn't run out of steam, but he's not going to. It's a 85-yard touchdown rumble for Dylan Farnes, but a flag comes out at the 45-yard line, and this one is probably going to be coming back. Initially, the ruling is a touchdown. The White Hat calls it a touchdown. You're correct. Although the flag came from the judge who was running down the sideline, they are going to call it a touchdown. So the score will remain. Dylan Farnes gets his 2nd touchdown of the year, this time an 85-yard rumble down the sideline on only his 2nd carry of the game. And the Cardinals are onto the scoreboard. A huge boost of morale here for Soda Springs in the back half of this game. And Farnes, a great cut through a seam. It looked like he was dead to rights at about the 15-yard line. I believe it's looking to see what the official was calling.
He said it was a pull on a defenseless player, horse collar or pull.
Either way, does not affect the Cardinals here as they'll go for the extra point. Adams to do the kicking. Good hold, good snap, and the kick is well up through the uprights. And the PAT puts the Cardinals on the board, down by 35 still, but it's 42-7 on the Gate City Real Estate scoreboard. Back with more after this in the 3rd quarter with 2:17 to go on KBRV 800 The Bear, with live video streaming online at mylocalradio.com.
MyLocalRadio.com is Southwest Wyoming and Northeast Utah's top website and the best source for local area news, weather, sports, and community events. And that's not all. MyLocalRadio.com features thousands of photographs of Wyoming and Utah high school events, from speech and drama competitions to local events, sports and activities, and much more. Check it out today and see what MyLocalRadio.com has for you.
That is a 85-yard touchdown run to get the Cardinals onto the board, 42-7. Gate City Real Estate on the scoreboard, and Farnes only his 2nd carry of the game, but he busts out a big one.
Well, and he's fresh. they've been running a couple other guys there, but when his number's called, he steps up and he makes a big play for his team.
Absolutely, and again, that freshness is really what got him into the end zone, because Hunter Olsen, the defensive player for the Hornets, he took a good angle for the most part and really almost tracked down Farnes at about the 10 or 5 yard line.
And they did call that penalty on us, and I'm not sure. I think if that happens, I didn't know if he was in the end zone or not while that happened, but
They'll kick from their own 25-yard line.
we might have got lucky to get that point.
So as you said, the penalty does end up going on Soda, and instead of kicking from the 45-yard line of the Hornets, the Cardinals will kick from their own 25-yard line, and the Cardinals now tonight 55 yards in penalties. And again, that continues to be something that hounds Soda Springs throughout this year. As a coach, you don't want to see any time getting above 50 yards, but you'd like to keep it down around 30 yards or 40 yards of penalties a night.
Yeah, that was, and we're definitely frustrated, which you should be. You want to see competitiveness, and if you're a competitive person, this is embarrassing, and maybe you saw a little of that, I hope.
It'll be Adams to kick the ball away left to right as he runs up and sends a end-over-end kick to the 30-yard line, fielded there by Duncan, fakes the handoff to Webb, and now cuts up the middle of the field, back up the seam, rolls forward across the 50 to the 45-yard line, and Keegan Duncan brings the ball up 25 yards to set Declo up with great field position. A stumble there, and he was close to breaking it as well, as he only had about 2 or 3 people to beat before being able to get up the seam once again.
Well, he beat plenty in the JV game.
We know he can return the ball. I think he took 2 or 3 punts back for touchdowns in the JV game.
Yeah, he's unreal. I wish you guys could see him without his helmet and pads. He's for real.
He's a 6'3", 200-pound freshman. As the snap goes to Miles, he cuts it up himself. Soda wasn't ready. Miles cuts back to the near side, reverses which hand he's holding the ball with, as he's taken down at the 28-yard line. A good run of 17 yards for Miles, and that is going to be his 4th carry of the game and puts him back into positive yardage with 7 yards on the night. Minute 57 to go. And the Cardinals defense once again giving ground in a bend but don't break attitude. Declo comes out with 5 wide receivers. Miles again in that shotgun, takes the snap, drops back, throws it to the near side. Right there, completing it to Duncan, who's going to fall forward to the, that is Bailey on the near side, falls forward to the 19-yard line, so a gain of 9 yards on that completion.
To the 18-yard line.
Good quick tackle, though, and good quick help by both Christopher Lloyd and Andrew Stewart there.
Right now, the Hornets continue to creep forward towards that 300-yard mark tonight. In the air, they have 262 yards on 17 of 32 completing. So still right around 50% for the Hornets. Minute and 5 to go. Clock continues to wind. Miles takes a snap. 2nd down and 1 yard to go. Rolls out to the near side. Has room in front. Instead, airs out wide open man in the end zone. That's Braxton Webb, and a flag comes out late. And this one is most likely going to be another flag on the Cardinals, as Webb was pushed out of bounds. I'm not sure what they would call here, though. It didn't look like there was any holding on Declo.
It was roughing the passer, and I disagree wholeheartedly with that. He gave him a little push, but it's something you can look past. That's ridiculous.
It ends up going as a 24-yard touchdown pass and catch. And again, Braxton Webb strikes the scoreboard. And a PAT is coming from Christian Kidd. 48-7 on the Gate City Real Estate scoreboard. Another snap, kick is up, and it floats its way through the goalpost. It's 49-7, back to a 42-point lead for the Hornets. We'll be back with more after this on KBRV 800 The Bear and our coverage of Soda Springs football.
If you own a gun, you have a full-time responsibility. When you aren't using it, be sure it can't get into the hands of curious children, troubled teenagers, a thief, or anyone else who might misuse it. Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Remember, always lock it up. For more information on firearms storage safety, visit ncpc.org. This message brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back out once again to the home of the Declo Hornets. 54 seconds left to go, and it's another kickoff coming up for the Declo Hornets as they will be teeing the ball up at the, I believe, the 50-yard line after the penalty on the Soda Springs Cardinals, and another chance for the Cardinals to try and return a kick here. 286 yards passing now, and 2 touchdowns for Calvin Miles. And 65 yards receiving on 3 receptions for Braxton Webb. He also has 10 rushes for 135 yards. A 200-yard night for Braxton Webb. 54 seconds to go here. And again, it's going to be Tyler Matthews to kick this ball away right to left from the 45-yard line after the 15-yard personal foul on the roughing the passer penalty. And it's a run up and a kick towards the end zone. It's going to be just into the end zone, and a touchback is going to be called to keep the Cardinals from running it back. And they'll take over at the 20-yard line with, again, 54 seconds up on the scoreboard, looking to try and find a way to climb their way back into this after getting the 85-yard touchdown run. They watched Declo march right back into the end zone, and if you're looking for momentum, you have to answer back with at least a little bit of a drive by the Cardinals here.
Yeah, they got to do what they did a bit ago and maybe go more to them tosses each side and use their speed and try and get outside of their heavy interior and try and take advantage of it. And they're still playing, you know, against several starters. I know 34's been their middle linebacker the whole game. The Webb kid, number 5, still in there playing. So, you know, Declo's not backing off any. They're maybe have a couple subs, but they're playing strong still.
Trying to put up some numbers on the board, and it does look like Miles as well as Bailey standing off away from the rest of the team. Their night might just be done after a 49-7 lead is put up onto the board. It'll be the Cardinals working from the 20-yard line, left to right from the middle of the field. It's going to be Adams. Takes it, pitches the ball to the near side, and it's going to go for a loss as the Hornets defense responds and pushes Tanner Myers out of bounds. It'll end up being a loss of 2 on the play. They'll actually give him the 19-yard line, so a very favorable spot for the Cardinals, only 1-yard loss.
And I do believe the quarterback and the number 6, the receivers, both been playing defense, so they're apparently subbing a few of them here and there.
24 seconds now on the clock as it continues to wind down. Cardinals will jog back out to the huddle, taking their time. This should be the last play of the third quarter coming up. Adams will not be lined up in the, it'll be Tanner Myers to throw the ball here as the quarterback, and a snap is going to be taken. Excuse me, it is Adams. He just dropped his socks down low. Threw me off for a moment there. The horn sounds before the snap can be taken, though. We'll come back with 2nd down and 11 coming up with the Cardinals down 49-7, a 42-point deficit to the Declo Hornets on KBRV 800 The Bear, with live video streaming online at mylocalradio.com.
There has never been a better time to convert to natural gas. Even in the summer months, natural gas is worth asking for. Rage Plumbing and Heating in Soda Springs will replace your furnace that caused you problems this winter with a new natural gas furnace, or even install a natural gas water heater to keep your water hot. Plus, Reed's can add a water softener to your home. And if you want to cool things down, Reed's Plumbing and Heating will install an energy-efficient Lennox air conditioner. All at Reed's Plumbing and Heating, 180 South 3rd Street, Soda Springs.
This is a test to find out if you know it all when it comes to children. Name one of the leading killers of U.S. children age 1 to 13. What's the best way to protect children in a car crash? At what age and size should a child start using a booster seat?
Don't assume you know it all when it comes to car seats for your child. Go to safercar.gov/the-right-seat and know for sure. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
12 minutes left to go in tonight's game. 49-7, the Cardinals trail. They have the ball, second down and 11, working right to left against the Hornets. Snap goes to Adams in the pistol formation. Keeps the ball himself, runs to the right side, has the first down before being taken out at the 31-yard line. It's a gain of 12 yards on the play. And a good run by Adams there. His 11th carry gets him to 29 yards on the night. And the Cardinals offense again moves the ball forward.
Another good block by a receiver out there. That was just the Still, Morgan Still, that had a good block up there right at the stick marker that allowed that guy to get 10 yards.
And after the concussion, good to see him coming out and still throwing blocks. A lot of times concussions like that can cause a player to get a little bit angsty and a little bit nervous going into contact like that. 11:47, clock stops after the ball went out of bounds. Adams flips the ball on a little pass to the near side. Taking it is Tanner Myers, who's going to be bottled up and pushed forward to the 34-yard line. They'll give him a 3-yard gain on the play on the screen pass, and the Cardinals will move it to a second down and 7 yards to go.
Boy, as quick as them guys come up and left the receivers, I think if they threw all that out to Myers and he throws the ball again, behind the line of scrimmage, and then that could be a big play for Soda.
5 completions in the game now for Devin Adams, their quarterback. Brings up, as I said, a second down and 7 yards to go with just over 11 minutes here in the fourth quarter. And right now, I think if you're the Cardinals, a long drive would do you a lot of good confidence-wise, showing you can continue to move the ball against this team. Good snap to Adams. Drops back, screen play to the far side. It's going to be caught, and running forward with this one once again is going to be, I believe, Myers. He's got all the way to the 20-yard line before he's taken down.
Deep into Declo territory.
45, 47 yards on the completion for the Cardinals. And just like you were talking about, with them putting all the attention to the edges, it opened up the middle of the field. A huge pass and catch there. And the Cardinals offense starting to click a little bit, 63 yards through the air.
Well, and a good show of sportsmanship there. They pull Webb off the field even after that big completion, too, and us threatening to score. So, good sportsmanship by these Declo Hornets.
10:30 to go. Cardinals again in that pistol formation. Adams takes the snap, hands off the ball, and it's going to be given right away. A hit goes immediately onto Farnes, who I believe is the man who was in the backfield, the pink socks showing it's him. A flag comes out late. We'll see what this one is. It came out after Farnes was on the ground after the 3-yard loss that they tag him with at the 21-yard line. See what the call is, and it looks to be against Declo, I believe.
Oh no,
they're going to march off.
Declo.
They're going to march off the holding penalty, it seems like now, against the Cardinals.
Cardinal come out of the bottom of that pile right where that was.
Excuse me, it is on the Declo Hornets.
They must have been talking to him and warning him to knock it off or something, because I saw the Cardinal roll there. He hit him in the back or hit him in the side and knocked him down, kind of as that play was well over with.
It'll end up going as a 9-yard penalty officially. Second down and 2 yards to go after the 3-yard loss, and 10-10 to go. Into motion goes a man. They're going to look out to the far side. It's Morgan Steele has the ball go off his fingertips. He had the touchdown if he pulls it in.
He had a step, and that was just a hair off his fingertips. He was stretching for it.
A good idea there by the Cardinals. Just missed being a completion there, and the Cardinals will come back out with third down and 2 yards to go at the 12-yard line of the Declo Hornets. Another big play coming up here to try and get this first down at least, to keep the clock moving and also keep the drive moving and give yourself a chance at four downs to get into the end zone. Adams in that pistol, takes the snap, gives the handoff to Farnes. No, keeps himself, stiff arms a man and is able to break a tackle, but he can't avoid the rest of the Declo defense, taken down at the 11-yard line. I'll see if they give him up to the 10 on forward progression, and they're not going to give him that. That ends up going as a loss of a yard on a play.
4th down and 4.
And right there, Declo, I think they expected something up the gut and they got a little bit of a break in the fact that Adams was not able to break out to the right side as quickly as he wanted to.
Still, they pursue very fastly and did a good job there.
4th down and 4 yards to go. Ball at the 13-yard line. The Cardinals need the 9. 9:20 to go here. Cardinals will go for it on 4th down. Adams in that pistol. Creeps forward to the 19-yard line, takes a snap, looks over to his right, floats one into the end zone, triple coverage, going up and having the ball swatted away is going to be the receiver in, I believe, either Ridge Thompson or Tanner Myers. I'm not sure which one it is. Either way, it ends up going as an incomplete pass and a turnover to the Hornets on downs. And it makes Devin Adams now 5 for 15 throwing the football. 9:06 to go, 1st down and 10 from the 13-yard line for the Declo Hornets. And expect a lot of running plays coming from Declo now, up by 42 points, 49-7 with the JV team on the field. New quarterback out there as well, as it looks like number 3, Colin Carpenter, will take over as the quarterback for the Hornets. Comes up under center, and they're going to go into that bunched wing T formation. No wide receivers. Pitch the ball into the backfield, and coming up to the 15-yard line on that play is going to be number 21, Garrett Darrington, his first carry of the night. Goes for 2 yards.
Gain of 2 yards.
Brings up 2nd down and 8 from the 15-yard line. With 8:45 to go, clock continues to move down. This is where the Soda defense has to hold, not give up any extra points, and again, take the momentum that you have been able to gain and take that into the game at Bear Lake. And a timeout is going to be called by the Soda Springs Cardinals. We'll take a timeout as well. Come back with more on KBRV 800 The Bear with live video streaming online at mylocalradio.com.
They need your help. They're overstocked with Lazy Boy and Catnapper recliners, sofas, and love seats. They'll wheel and deal right now at Sanders Furniture, Flooring, and Appliance. If you will help them make room in their showroom, they'll help you keep money in your bank account while you're enjoying high-quality, comfortable Lazy Boy and Catnapper recliners, sofas, and love seats. They need your help, and you need to save money. Wheel and deal right now at Sanders Furniture, Flooring, and Appliances on Main Street in Soda Springs.
Welcome back out to the home of the Soda Springs Cardinals, Caleb Burgraff, home of the Declo Hornets. You're on the station to listen to for all Soda Springs Cardinals games on KBRV 800 The Bear, as well as online at mylocalradio.com. Let's take a look quickly at the upcoming schedule for the Soda Springs Cardinals and our broadcast schedule, as well as later on next week. We'll have a game starting for you on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, as we will have the Soda Springs volleyball team at Bear Lake in a rivalry matchup. Volleyball at home against Aberdeen, and football at Bear Lake next week as well on Friday at 6:30 with a pregame show. 8:34 to go, another snap, and this one again, the pitch play is going to go to Darrington, who bullies his way forward to the 22. They give him the 23-yard line. That should be good enough for a 1st down, an 8-yard carry, and Darrington gets 10 yards now on the night.
Justin Winfield in there on the tackle. He's a JV starter that the Cardinals have subbed in to get a little bit of playing time here tonight.
And the JV kids, you got to think, are looking to try and stack up a little bit as well after the tough loss they had earlier. Is now a handoff, pitched out to the near side, goes to Brecken Bailey.
With his first carry
a 5'8" junior who comes around the left side and is taken down after a gain of about 7 yards, 8 yards we'll call it.
2nd down and 2.
And the Declo Hornets will continue to move up to the line. 7:40, the clock continues to move down with the ball at the 31-yard line. Declo working from left to right on your radio dial in that bunched wing tee. They'll give a straight off handoff to the fullback. That's Duncan, who pushes the pile forward for a 5-yard gain.
The Hornets surge ahead.
Our defensive line knows they got to get lower than that on that, and they're standing up and they're letting them push them around. And that's really discouraging, because we go over that and go over it and go over it, and it does you absolutely no good to get up there and try and muscle people. You got to play smarter football and give yourself a chance there.
Especially against a line like Declo's. They're bigger than you in most ways, so you have to find other ways than strength to get through them. Another snap. This one goes off to Darrington near side. He's almost going to break one, rolls his way to the 45-yard line for a gain of 9 yards, and he's going to be a yard short of that first down. He's got 19 yards now on 3 carries, as he is showing that he can be a person that's going to be there to look for this Declo team in the future. And he is only a sophomore for this team too, so a lot of young talent on this Declo team showing off right now. 6:45, clock winds. The flag comes out on this play. Quick bull rush up the gut. This one's probably coming back, but it is a gain of about 7 yards on Bracken Bailey. We'll see who they call this one on, and I believe, again, it's going to be holding on Declo and the Hornets. See what the official calls as the white hat comes near side. Chop block on the Hornets.
Got him high and low there.
So the Hornets will move back 10. Is that I believe that's a 15-yarder.
I believe so. Yeah, I think that's yeah.
I was watching the Air Force game against Michigan State, and Air Force got called for that several times. When you go into that formation, it's very easy to get called for that
traffic,
penalty.
Yep, that gets you both ways. Yep, you're correct.
Quick score update. Firth making things interesting. They end up taking a 28-22 lead. Not sure if the game's over or not. We'll find that one out, but that changes things a little bit for the Soda Springs Cardinals. If they can avoid West Jefferson, they played very tight with Firth this year when they took them on up at Firth.
They did.
And that would also be a game that might be moved over to the mini dome if Firth were to decide on that.
Firth likes to do that.
Another flag comes out. This one early movement. So we'll see. This is going to be a false start. So another penalty. So call it 20 yards in penalties in the last 2 plays. 59 yards in penalties for Declo. The Cardinals, on the other hand, have 70 yards in penalties. So neither team has a bright and shining slate when it comes to that category.
Not good.
6:22 to go. 25-yard line. Second down and call it 21 yards. Ball snapped once again, dropping back to throw this time. They'll come near side, and it's going to be incomplete, squirting underneath Bracken Bailey, and it goes as an incomplete pass.
Henderson in on the coverage there. It's a kid that doesn't get a lot of playing time. Started on the team late, but liked what he saw with the attitude of the team and decided he wanted to be a part of it and come out late.
Those are kids that you look to build on as the years continue. Once again, kids that you'd never really expect to be there are kind of the shining gems for a lot of teams that keep them going when they come in the middle of the season and really give you a look at somebody new, somebody fresh. 6:10, clock stops after the incomplete pass. Under center is going to be Carpenter. He'll hand this ball off. No, keeps himself, rolls around near side, has a man. He's going to pass this one complete, tiptoeing the sideline and rolling his way to the 50-yard line, breaks another tackle there, and finally goes out at the 42-yard line of Soda Springs and the Cardinals. It's a 33-yard completion going to Wyatt Homer, a 5'6" junior, pushed out of bounds by 3 Cardinals after tight-roping a sideline and then avoiding 2 other tackles.
I saw 2 guys fly in and take out Gray players on this side. I guess they were both good open blocks.
5:50 to go. Clock continues to work its way down. First down and 10 for Declo as they'll most likely move back into that running formation. And trotting off the field is going to be Braxton Webb. They'll run this ball over to the far side. Darrington tripped up, just about able to break it. Had a lead blocker in Carpenter, but the Cardinals will just get his shoelaces, pull him down after a 6-yard gain.
Well, I hate to get into it again, but that's completely ridiculous. You cannot break a huddle with 12 guys and have a kid run off like that. That is an easy penalty that these guys know is a penalty. That I know the score's out of hand, but it's out of hand one direction too.
5:11 to go now. Clock continues to wind. Ball to the near side. It's going to be another handoff. This one pitched around to the near side, and that again is going to be Homer, who bowls his way forward all the way up to the 26-yard line. Call it a gain of 16 yards that time on his first carry of the night. And the Declo offense continues to work its way down the field with 4:45 to go, and another touchdown should start that running clock right now too. as it would put him up over 45 points.
Well, maybe that's why the refs aren't calling any penalties there. They'd like to see it over with.
Snap is handed off up the gut to the fullback, and he breaks out to the left side. That is going to be the big bruiser, Tyler Matthews, who gets a touchdown on a 16-yard run over to the left side of the field, and that one is going to seal this one. A 16-yard run for a new man to hit the scorebook. Tyler Matthews gets his name into the books.
What grade is he in, do you know?
Tyler Matthews is a junior, so he will be back next year as well.
I believe he played starting middle linebacker, didn't he, too, most of the game?
He did,
34?
so getting a little bit of a chance to shine offensively, where most of the offensive rushes went to other players. He
hasn't taken too many, has he?
That is his 4th carry for 31 yards, and the timeout's going to be called by Declo with it 55-7 and 4:24 to go on the clock. We'll keep it right here. And again, if you're Soda Springs, I think you have enough in this game. Again, you look at the caliber of team that you're playing. You look at the caliber of teams that you've played. You've taken your lumps this season, that's for sure. You have one more big lump that you got to take at the end of the year. That's Aberdeen, which is going to be another tough game, but you get that at home. You have Bear Lake next week, which is a very winnable game for Soda Springs and the Cardinals.
Especially if we leave this game healthy, which it appears we're doing.
And that's always going to be something big. You know Morgan Steele's going to be back with a little bit more confidence in himself. He'll have another extra week of practice to get his rhythm back out there on the field. You saw good nights coming from Tanner Myers. Dylan Farnes showed another couple of good spots. You didn't throw an interception tonight. You had the one fumble on the turnover. So in a lot of ways, the Cardinals have been able to really find some positive spots in tonight's game.
Pretty good ball control that way. That's what. Did we have any against Malad? Any fumbles?
I don't think we had any fumbles against Malad either. And in the rain against Malad as well.
Yeah, that's true.
4:24, another PAT coming up for Christian Kidd. The holder is going to be Trey Ramsey for Declo and the Hornets. Good snap. Kick is up, and just once again, I'll tell you what, Christian Kidd doesn't get him over by much, but he does get him over. He squirts him over the goalpost by about a good 2 or 3 feet every single time.
We also had not only the fumble, but we did have that one pick where Adams was hit in the back, and he threw that wobbly pass that was kind of the steam was taken off when he got hit in the back. So we've had 2 turnovers tonight, haven't we?
We have had the 2 turnovers. I forgot about that interception. But again, that was one that I don't know if you can necessarily call one.
It's not necessarily an interception. No. It's almost a long forward fumble because he didn't get what he had on the ball, and it was,
And that was more on the defense, too, just making a really good play from the backside blitz that wasn't picked up, and a linebacker in Matthews being right at the right spot at the right time.
Yep.
So that also makes me correct myself. That is Matthews' 2nd touchdown of the night, as he had that interception return as well.
Yeah, so it was him, wasn't it? You're right.
So he gets onto the scoreboard twice. 4:24 to go. It should be running clock with the 49-point lead for Declo and the Hornets, unless the Cardinals decide to decline that and try and get into the end zone once more. And right now it will be another kickoff brought to you by the 3C Grill and Grace, Burgers, Pizza, and Barbecue. And don't forget, they cater as well. New kicker into the game for Declo. It's going to be Tanner Schroeder, the sophomore quarterback backup, to kick this ball away. He is a JV player for the Declo Hornets and played much of the game for them on that JV squad. As this ball is kicked off to the 20-yard line, bobbled by Christopher Lloyd, picks it up at the 25, and he's going to come forward to about the 29, where he is taken down and wrapped up. And the clock will stop at 4:16 to go, so no running clock will be started.
To about the 29-yard line, where he's tackled by Jace Girard.
Well, it only adds to the many things that I don't understand that has happened tonight.
I completely agree with you on that one. There has been, I hate getting on officials.
Well, I'm not trying to either, but at the same time,
this has been
I don't understand the game as well as I thought I did. If you can explain to me some of these things that have gone on tonight.
Either way, Cardinals will have to try and move down the field. They have 70 yards worth of turf to try and meander their way through the Declo defense to try and get on the board. Plenty of time to do it too. And again, this would be a momentum boost for the Cardinals if they can get into the end zone or even drive down the field. Adams again in that pistol formation, socks down around his ankles. He's going to hand this ball off. It's Farnes in the backfield. The hair flying behind him with the mullet. He cuts up the field and stumbles forward to the 44-yard line.
Handoff goes around the right side.
And they're going to actually mark him out of bounds at the 41. It does go as an 11-yard gain for Farnes, who on his 4 carries has 94 yards. Granted, a lot of that on an 85-yard stumble, but either way, he has come out and with whether it's the freshness, whether it's just the drive that he's had with being put as a second-string running back, he's put in a good effort tonight.
He showed that maybe he's ready to go again, and he's definitely a coachable kid and tries his hardest.
Snap goes into Adams' hands, bobbles it, and then he drops down onto it. I think he recovers it. Yes, he does, but it's a loss of 2 on the play, and that's just another. If things have gone wrong tonight for the Cardinals, it's
yeah, and we don't lose that, but you count that as a fumble because it definitely hurts your momentum upfield.
Second down and 12 yards. Call it a long 11, as the ball is at the 39-yard line of the Declo Hornets. Another good snap, this one taken by Adams. He gives the ball off to Farnes, who's going to try and squirt his way up through the defense, and he's reaching and striving to get forward, but gets taken down for a 4-yard loss, as coming up on the bottom of the pile is Duncan for the Hornets. He was the first one to get there. A lot of Hornets got into the backfield on that one, though, as I think they're starting to guess on the plays for the Cardinals, and when they guess right, they're good, but when they guess wrong, they've given up some big plays.
Well, and I don't recognize any of the early players now. Even the defensive line has changed. Well, no, 78 was one that we were laughing at about him bouncing off of early, but
I think he's one of those players. He has not been a starter on this team. He's one of the guys that comes in to substitute in. 2 minutes and 24 seconds to go. Cardinals will again take the ball as Adams is going to be swollen down beneath a host of Hornets. And it's like he stepped on a yellow jacket nest there, because they were up out of the ground in a hurry to pull him back down. And it's a 4-yard loss on that play. Brings up a 4th down, and they'll mark him getting back up to it'll be a loss of 1.
The point I was going to make on that is 54, 1, 8. Several of these kids are JV kids, and you can see how tough of a JV team they had, because we're struggling here too.
Makes that 62-6 loss make a little bit more sense on the JV side of the ball.
Makes a lot of sense.
Poor snap to Adams. He's just going to have to drop on this one and fall on it at the 23-yard line. And another big loss for the Cardinals there, a 12-yard loss there that's going to get pegged on Adams. But if you're the Cardinals right now, it's a little bit of a crumble job at the very end of this game. And they just have not looked themselves in these last couple of plays after that big 12-yard run by Farnes. 15 carries now for Adams, and officially goes for 13 yards. And with 1:40 to go, you got to think Declo, they could take knees right now and end up winding this down. We'll see what they decide to call.
Well, the ref just threw out one of the Soda Springs players there too. He just told 69 to get off the field and not come back, I believe.
And that is Caden Brown, who gets sent off the field. Declo is going to run the ball to the near side, and falling forward with a gain of about 4 or 5 yards to the 20-yard line is Wyatt Homer, and he is up to 2 carries for 20 yards. 1:23 to go. The clock will continue to wind. About 2 more plays left in this game. If Declo decides to run the clock a little bit and try and milk this clock down.
Probably continue to run that double wing out of just up the middle.
You would assume that would be their main focus as Carpenter goes under center. He'll pitch the ball into his backfield. Derringer's going to work his way through. He gets through, and he's going to break free into the end zone. And another touchdown late in the game if you're the Declo Hornets, as that puts them up now 62-7 on top of Soda Springs and the Cardinals. That is a 15-yard run.
This is a complete JV against JV now, though. I think we've rotated too into all of our JV kids, from what I can tell from here.
And with the touchdown again, Garrett Darrington. And another PAT coming up for the Declo Hornets. And this is a game that you're going to want to forget if you're Soda Springs moving on to next week. Remember the good things you did well, but as far as the score is concerned, 62 and possibly 63-0 is something that you just have to move on from. You have to have that short memory. As a late substitution onto the field, only 10 men out there. until number 50 rolled onto the field. He gets into line, and the snap is good. Kick is again barely over the crossbars, but Kidd once again comes away with the 7 points, and it is a 63-7 lead. The Declo Hornets on top. We'll take a break, come back with more on KBRV 800 The Bear with live video streaming online at mylocalradio.com.
Hi, this is John Ondrasik of Five for Fighting, here for RAD, the entertainment industry's voice for road safety. You know, style is a personal thing, and your lifestyle is your business. But if you take it on the road, it becomes everybody's business. So please, plan ahead, designate before you celebrate. Friends, don't let friends drive drunk.
A public service announcement brought to you by RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back out to the home of the Declo Hornets. Caleb Burgraff here along with Ben Jacobson, and it is 63-7 here on a Friday night. Clock creeping up towards 10 o'clock, and the Cardinals are 50 seconds away from marching their way out of this field, as the losers to the Hornets will come back with our post-game show after this. We'll have updates from Grace High School as well as North Gem High School, get interviews with the two head coaches out there. It's going to be McKay Wadsworth from North Gem joining us, as well as Brandon Sanchez, the head coach of the Grace Grizzlies, to join us. Both Grace and North Gem having solid seasons. They're going to be going into the playoffs with some momentum. They will both have play-in games, and will have a good chance at winning those games. Of course, Grace looking to try and win the High Plains District and High Plains Conference for the first time in quite some time. They beat Butte County 24-19. 50 seconds to go, another kickoff. This one squirted up the middle. It goes past Morgan Steele, rolls along the ground before being picked up at the 25-yard line to the near sideline, and turning it upfield is going to be Mumford.
No,
I
that's
believe,
Farnes.
excuse me, that is Dylan Farnes. You're correct. That is blown up out of bounds, and it'll be the Cardinals taking over with 41 seconds to go at the 31-yard line. 63-7.
At the 31-yard line, first down Cardinals.
And what has been a game that the Cardinals have, you can't fault the effort that they put out there onto the field at all in this matchup, as they've never given up their heart, they've never given up the stride, which is something that this team, they've been looking to try and find that. And what you have to do next week against Bear Lake is you have to take this feeling that you have, because this is going to be a sick feeling getting onto the bus tonight and heading back home for 2 hours. But you have to take that against Bear Lake and try and run with it.
Have a lot of confidence we'll do that.
41 seconds to go as the snap goes to Adams. He'll fake the handoff, runs around to the far side, throws a pass over the head of Morgan Steele. It falls incomplete, and there's 35 seconds left to go. And right now the Cardinals, if they run one more play, and it's a running play, they can just let the clock wind down.
Well, we talked just a hair during the in between the timeout you had there about if they'd taken a knee, this game would be over with too. So
it's true, and right now if you're the Cardinals, I think take that into your own hands.
That's right. Make the best of this time you got, I guess.
And it looks like they'll come out again in that pistol formation, two wide receivers to each side, as Adams will be in that pistol at the 25-yard line. Just gives the handoff right now. It's going to be Farnes around the near edge, gets through the 30, and is taken out of bounds at the 34-yard line. And it goes as a gain of 4 yards for Farnes. Up to 94 yards again on the night for Soda Springs. And again, the Cardinals do not have to run another play, and it looks like they have no intention to, as Devin Adams already walking over towards the sideline, meandering that way. And yes, they're just going to let this one end up going down. Again, a 63-7 final score here. The Cardinals dropped by the Declo Hornets in a rough matchup. We'll take a break, come back with our post-game show on KBRV 800 The Bear with live video streaming online at mylocalradio.com.
K-Slot fever is continuing at Lalaton's in Soda Springs the week of October 8th through the 14th. Drop into Lalaton's and grab yourself canned vegetables, a case of 24 for $12. Or grab Western Family cans of soup, 24 cans for $12 as well. Make sure you don't miss out on their water, as they have 24 packs of Western Family half-liter bottles, $1.99 each. Or if you're looking for peanut butter, grab yourself a 64-ounce creamy or chunky peanut butter for $6.49. It's all at Lalaton's in Soda Springs.
Come on, smile. Oh, honey, he's still not smiling.
Maybe he's not a smiler.
Yeah, maybe he's just not a happy baby.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Or maybe he's teething.
Maybe it's just a phase.
Maybe he has autism, and we can definitely do something to help.
Maybe is all you need to find out more about autism. No big, joyful smiles by 6 months is one early sign. Learn the others at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
There's an organization in southeast Idaho whose wildlife conservation efforts have been commended by the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, the Idaho Fish and Wildlife Foundation, and the North American Moose Foundation. Who is this organization? It's Monsanto. While Monsanto is honored by the recognition they receive, their ongoing dedication to the environment is its own reward for all of us. Monsanto. Imagine.
Hi, this is Terry Crews, actor, former football player, and father of 5. I'm also an expert on drama. There's the good kind that comes with having a house full of kids, and there's silly drama like the drama around my percolating pectorals. And then there's the drama you can skip.
Skip the drama that comes with not having your high school diploma or equivalency. Find free adult education classes near you and finish your diploma. Visit finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org.
And leave the drama to actors like me.
Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Welcome back out once again to the home of the Declo Hornets as they come away with a 63-7 win over the Soda Springs Cardinals here at home. And the Cardinals will look to go back to the answer book, dropping to 1-5 on the season. Let's take a look at how this game happened. Brought to you by London Drug and Grace, locally owned, locally operated, and locally loved. They're your local good neighbor pharmacy. It was a strong game for the Declo Hornets. We'll pick it up in the second half where they were up in the matchup by a score of 35-0. They ended up getting a 55-yard interception return from Tyler Matthews at the 45-yard line after Devin Adams was hit from behind, threw up a duck that ended up getting caught and brought back for the score. A PAT was good. That made it 42-0. The Cardinals would then march in, get their only touchdown of the night, an 85-yard run by Dylan Farnes with a phenomenal cut up the middle, as he ended up going and working his way through a couple of Declo defenders, outran Hunter Olson to the end zone. That gave the Cardinals some hope, made the score 42-7, but Declo came right back, a 24-yard pass to Braxton Webb from Calvin Miles. The PAT was good, made it 49-7. That was the closest the Cardinals got back into the game. A 16-yard Tyler Matthews run in the fourth quarter made it 56-7, and then late in the game with 50 seconds to go, there was a 15-yard run by Garrett Darrington. The PAT by Kidd made it 63-0 in that matchup, and in that final, that is our final score here tonight. The Declo Hornets come away with the 56-point win. Numbers as far as the Hornets are concerned: 243 yards rushing on 28 carries. They were 19 for 33 in the air for 313 yards. So a 556-yard night for the Declo Hornets tonight against the Soda Springs Cardinals, and that shows up on the scoreboard. It was Ezra Bailey who came away with 7 receptions for 129 yards on the evening as well. So he had a very strong performance on the night. 10 rushes for Braxton Webb as he rushed for 135 yards on the night. For the Soda Springs Cardinals, they went 12 of 43 in the first half rushing, added another 19 rushes for 155 total yards on 31 carries on the night. They were led by Dylan Farnes, who had 6 carries for 94 yards. It was a 5 of 16 passing night for Devin Adams, who threw for 65 yards, did have the 1 interception, and 3 receptions for 60 yards for Tanner Myers on the night. They did have the 1 touchdown run by Dylan Farnes for 85 yards, but that wraps up their game. We'll take another break, come back with more as we'll do our Grace update and North Jam updates on KBRV 800 The Bear, and we'll take a look and see if we can find some scores for you from those 2 games on KBRV 800 The Bear, your home for Caribou County Sports on mylocalradio.com.
Cattlemen have a code of ethics. Live each day with courage. Take pride in your work. Always finish what you start. Do what has to be done. Be tough but fair. When you make a promise, keep it. Ride for the brand. Talk less and say more. Remember that some things aren't for sale, and know where to draw the line. The folks at Mound Valley Cattle Company in Thatcher, Idaho are proud of the students at Grace High School, investing in the leaders of tomorrow. The Mound Valley Cattle Company, 208 339-0614.
Today, my new dad and I shot off a rocket in the park.
Today, my new son and I failed to shoot off a rocket.
The rocket launched into the air.
And then crashed into the pond.
I'll never forget that day.
I'll never forget that day, even if I tried.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are. For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
MyLocalRadio.com is Southwest Wyoming and Northeast Utah's top website and the best source for local area news, weather, sports, and community events. And that's not all. MyLocalRadio.com features thousands of photographs of Wyoming and Utah high school events, from speech and drama competitions to local events, sports and activities, and much more. Check it out today and see what MyLocalRadio.com has for you.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard. So you don't need to start foraging wild berries.
I was skeptical, but these are actually pretty good.
You don't need to sell your soul to the devil.
$15 is the best I can do.
You just need FeedThePig.org. Don't get left behind. Get tips and tools at FeedThePig.org. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
There has never been a better time to convert to natural gas.
Welcome back out to the home of the Declo Hornets. The Soda Springs Cardinals losing again 63-7. We had a chance to sit down earlier this week, though, as we move into our Grace Grizzlies update. Brandon Sanchez joined us earlier this week to talk about what his team was up to on the season. We'll sit down with him right now on KBRV 800, The Bear.
Caleb Burgraff with Coach Brandon Sanchez from the Grace Grizzlies football team. And Coach, this last week, a tough game for you guys, but I think you got a result that is as good as you could hope for, beating Butte County, getting a little bit of revenge for last year when they swept you guys.
Oh, absolutely. This game was just huge for us. You know, Butte County comes in, they're ranked number 5 in the state. The only team they've lost to is Glens Ferry, and Glens Ferry kind of took it to them. And so we knew that they were going to come in. We always said they've been the bullies of the conference for a long time because they've just dominated everybody for a long time. And so for us to be able to get this win at home in the rain and everything that went along with that, and the way we played for the first quarter and a half, be able to pull it out at the end, it was big for our kid. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you how big it was for our kid.
You were down at one point in time 13-0 in the game. What did it mean to see your kids come back and not only win but outscore Butte County by 18 points in the final 2.5 quarters?
You know, I told the kids at the end of the game that this was probably one of the proudest, you know, especially that last stop at the end, but it was one of the prouder games that I've had with a team. For us to get down 13 points like that and then finally get something going, and once we finally got things going and we made some adjustments, things just kept going. And so it's so big for us to be able to limit them to one more touchdown when they were running the ball as well as they were, and for us to be able to just keep, you know, putting points on the board the way we did. You know, it was such a big game for us.
For it to also come when you guys are coming off a potato harvest, when the kids are tired, did that add a little bit of extra satisfaction onto the end of this, knowing that even when we're at our most vulnerable, we can still beat you guys, so going on the road makes it easier?
Oh, sure it does. You know, our kid, they looked tired, I thought, you know, the first quarter. You could tell that they'd been putting in some long days, and luckily we got a little rain that day, and because of the rain, a lot of my kids got the day off. And so we were able to get them rested. We brought them in early, fed them a little pizza and Gatorade, and watched some game film before the game just to get their mind set and going in that way. And yeah, you know, these kids work so hard during harvest, and for them to come out and play a game the way they did and eventually start putting things together. They were tired at first, you could tell, but that just says a lot about this team and the adversity they face and how they can battle through it.
Caleb Burgraff with Coach Brandon Sanchez. And Coach, now that you look forward, you have Chalice again this week. It's homecoming. A lot of emotions are going to be on the football field this weekend. How do you sum up the emotions that come with the homecoming game, and how do you keep those bottled up and use those emotions the proper way?
You know, with this win coming into homecoming is going to help out a lot. I don't know a coach that really necessarily likes homecoming, you know, and it's because everything that goes on with it and all the activities, and the kids are so involved, you know, on the school aspect of it, which I like, which is cool, but you know, it takes your focus away from playing sometimes. That worries me a bit. I worry a little bit about Chalice because this last game, there were some pushing and shoving going on there, and so they're out for revenge. They're 0 whatever right now, and so those teams are scary because they have nothing to lose at this point, so they're going to do whatever they possibly can to win this game. But I think with this win coming in and actually beating Chalice already, that's going to be huge for us. I talk about the mental aspect of the game so much, and we've kind of got the mental edge, I think, right now with these 2 wins that we've got.
Final thing for you, when you look at this game against Chalice, most likely a win in this game puts you guys a guaranteed spot into the playoffs. Getting that comfort into a game like this, after a game like this, how big would that be for your team, just allowing them to play a little bit more relaxed the last 3 games of the year?
I think it would be huge, and it would be, if that's the case, then kids tend to have a little bit more fun playing football. A little more pressure is taken off, and they can go out a little looser, like you said. Good things can come out of this, and we're going to do everything we can to make sure we get this win. I hope it's a big win for us, and then we look down the road at Raft River, who's a dang good team, and then Butte County again. So our schedule is not easy by any means at the end of the year here, but we're going to do everything we can to get this win, whether it puts us in the playoffs or whatever the case may be. That's not important to me right now. My focus right now is just to get this win and then to move on and just keep going and rolling the way we are. But I think you're right. I think them playing loose and having a little bit of fun with football, as they should, because it's a game, it'll be big for the rest of the season.
Coach Sanchez, as always, thank you so much for the time.
You bet. Thank you.
That's Brandon Sanchez from the Grace Grizzlies. Again, they are at home and against Chalice. It's homecoming night for them. We'll see if we can find a final score update for that game. Right now, we'll move over to North Gem, though, where the North Gem Cowboys are taking on a home team as well. We'll take a listen to what McKay Wadsworth had to say, as he is a senior for the North Gem Cowboys.
Caleb Bergraff with McKay Wadsworth from the North Gem football team. And McKay, looking at the season you guys are having so far, you're 5-1 now on the year. You've really been able to roll through most of the teams you've played, other than a tough start against Grace where you were able to win by 14, and then a tough game when you went up to Cary. What are your thoughts on the season so far?
I actually think we've had a pretty decent season. Our team has been flowing offensively, and our defense just gets better and better every time we practice. So as far as the future games, I think we're going to be even more successful.
You guys have guaranteed yourself at least a winning record now, and now that you're in conference play, the side of the conference that you guys are on is not necessarily as stacked as it is further up north in the side that Cary's on. Do you feel like that gives you a little bit of an advantage when you guys go into some of these games, or is it harder for you guys not to let a team upset you?
Well, they're really good teams, and they do give us some opportunities to look at things that we need to work on. But I think it kind of strengthens our confidence when we play some easy teams, and when we play the hard teams, it's also good because then we get to challenge ourselves and get better. So that's always good to have too.
This last week, you guys took on Rockland. It was a big win for you guys. Ended up really controlling the game almost all the way through. What were some of the things you saw the team do really well in that game?
Well, I think we just stuck together. Rockland really tried to get in our heads, and we stuck to our plan, and we were going to not have the type of game that we had last year. We were going to go in and we were going to bring it to them and show them what we were made of. And that's exactly what we did. We ran the ball extremely well, even with the tough weather conditions. And our passing game was also very exceptional. So I think we did everything that we could do against Rockland and maybe even better.
Caleb Bergraff with McKay Wadsworth here. And McKay, when you look at that game, the weather conditions, you brought them up. It rained almost the entire game. Are games like that going to help you guys when it comes to progressing throughout the rest of the year? And once you get into November, being able to be ready for cold weather and any type of weather that comes that way?
Yeah, I think it's going to help us a lot because having these type of weather conditions, it really does change the game. I mean, we've been used to this dry summer climate, and especially here in Bancroft where things are basically kind of like a desert, but having these weather conditions, it really made us tougher, and it kind of gave us a more of an advantage because I think we are one of the tougher teams in all of Idaho, and we can really bring it to them and give what we need.
When you look at the games coming up for you guys, now you have homecoming. What does homecoming mean to this team, especially when you're at a small school like this?
It's a huge deal in our community. I mean, everyone comes over and everyone's supportive, and families and friends, and it kind of gives us the opportunity to show the town what our school and what our district is made of. I mean, it shows us that we're proud to be North Gem Cowboys. It shows us that we're proud to be here in our school, and especially when we have a good team like Clark coming up, it's going to be a really tough game, and when we win this game, we'll be able to show the community and all of the teams around Idaho that we're a team to be not messed with. I mean, we're a tough team.
You guys don't have many home games coming up left on the schedule either. Is it going to be good to finish the season up on a little bit of a winning streak at home and be able to go into those road games that are going to have conference and district standings on the line?
Oh, absolutely. I think finishing strong with all our home wins is going to really boost the morale of the team. And when we go on the road, we know what type of game we can play at home, and we can also play that away. So it's going to be really nice to have that home win streak.
McKay, thank you so much again for the time. Good luck to you guys the rest of the year, and good luck to you as you move towards the playoffs.
Oh, thank you so much.
That is McKay Wadsworth of the North Gem Cowboys. We'll take another break. I was unable to find any score updates from those two games. We'll try and keep those updated, but worst comes to worst, listen in on Monday morning at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and 8 o'clock to the Cardinal or Caribou County Sports Update, as we will have updated scores from all the games and the cross-country meets as well from around the weekend. Back with more after this, as we'll wrap things up on our final post-game break on KBRV 800 The Bear with live streaming video online at mylocalradio.com.
They need your help. They're overstocked with Lazy Boy and Catnapper recliners, sofas, and love seats. They'll wheel and deal right now at Sanders Furniture, Flooring, and Appliance. If you will help them make room in their showroom, they'll help you keep money in your bank account while you're enjoying high-quality, comfortable Lazy Boy and Catnapper recliners, sofas, and love seats. They need your help, and you need to save money. Wheel and deal right now at Sanders Furniture, Flooring, and Appliances on Main Street in Soda Springs.
So, I'm a dog, and I'm kind of new to this family, but I've noticed a trend. My humans do this thing where they go around and get all my toys and hide them in this basket, but it's always the same basket, and it's always the same place, and then they act so surprised when I find them, but I'm like, hello, that's where you put it last time. Humans are the worst at hide and go seek.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
It's so pretty here.
Katie's away at college,
There's the library.
but she can still be close to her mom back home. Travis is working on a big report. High-speed internet puts a world of information at his fingertips. Silver Star Communications provides connections that help students learn and keep families close, even when they're miles apart. Get your family in touch and informed with high-speed internet from Silver Star Communications. Call today or visit silverstar.com.
Welcome back out to the home of the Declo Hornets. Caleb Burgraff here on KBRV 800 The Bear. And right now it's time for us to wrap things up as the Soda Springs Cardinals again falling by a final score tonight of 63-7 on the Gate City Real Estate scoreboard. Thank you so much again for tuning in to tonight's broadcast, as tomorrow night we are done with our broadcast for this week. We'll have nothing over the weekend, but next week be sure to tune in. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, Soda Springs will dominate the week, as we'll have Soda Springs volleyball at Bear Lake at 7 o'clock on Wednesday. You can tune into that matchup and cheer on the Cardinals as they look to try and get their second District 5 win against a team they beat in 4 sets the first time they played. After that, they take on Aberdeen, a team they lost to in 5 sets. That'll be senior night for the Soda Springs Cardinals on Thursday night, a 7 o'clock first serve for that. And on Friday, the Soda Springs football team will be at Bear Lake, a 6:30 pregame and a 7 o'clock first kick on KBRV 800 The Bear. A big game for the Cardinals, as if that happens, if they win that game, then they end up going on to take on either Firth or West Jefferson, most likely. If they lose that game, it'll be another trip back here to take on Declo and the Hornets, and it would be tough to reverse the fortunes that they had in tonight's contest. Although if they take on Firth, and if Firth can come back and win that game against West Jefferson, there'd be a possible chance of going and playing in the Mini Dome in that game as well on the 31st of October. Cardinals will have another chance, though, as they have 2 more chances on the season, senior night coming up as well, and we will hopefully have all those games for you on KBRV 800 The Bear. Keep it tuned right here, though, for any updates in what we do on the season. Thank you for listening in to the Cardinals postgame show. The proceeding has been a sports production and sports broadcast of Old West Media Incorporated and Cook Brothers Broadcasting. No portion of this production can be used or rebroadcast without express written consent of Old West Media Incorporated. Tonight's executive producer is Val Cook. I would also like to thank our sales team, as well as our office manager Kim Miller and general manager Warren Cook. Thanks to all of our sponsors and to you for tuning in. Once again, the final score is 63-7. The Cardinals are dropped on the road at Declo and the Hornets in a tough matchup on the West Gate or the Gate City Real Estate scoreboard. Thank you to Ben Jacobson, my cameraman and colorman. Also want to thank my father, Mark Burgraff, for coming down and helping me pack things up, helping me truck things up here as well. So thank you to him for spending the time, and I would be remiss if I did not give him a shout out for all of that stuff. And thank you as well for being my dad and supporting me in everything that I've done with this. For me, I'm Caleb Burgraff, wrapping things up. We'll be back on the air, as I said, on Wednesday. Tune in Monday morning for all of your sports updates on scores from over the weekend for your local schools. We'll keep you updated on Grace, North Gem, and Soda Springs, as we are home for everything Caribou County sports. For right now, though, I'm signing off. Thank you again for tuning in on KBRV 800 The Bear with live video streaming online at mylocalradio.com.
Thank you once again for tuning in to this edition of Soda Springs Cardinal Football. Be sure to visit mylocalradio.com and take a look at when the next time the boys of Soda will take the field. Until the next time the red and black take the field, let's go Cardinals!